Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason McGinnis. I am live from Northfield Park, and my co-pilot here today. Go ahead and
Yeah,
introduce
Jim
yourself.
Gillespie tuning in from Ontario. So I think we got a six-pack on the go today, right, Jason?
Yep, 6 sets, varying anywhere from I think 5 horses to 7 horses. So yeah, should be a good day. A bunch of them warmed up well when I was back there earlier, and they're going in the race bike for the first time. So it could be interesting.
Oh, we're in the bikes today.
First time in the bike, yes.
Awesome. Could be action-packed.
I hope not too action-packed. I just hope everybody goes well. My name's spelled wrong on my thing. That's okay, Curtis. Whatever. Anyway, it is. We're only about 20 minutes late, which is pretty good for us. But we're getting ready to go with set one. I believe they've already hit the track. We were going to try to do it kind of post-parade order, and we had a little technical glitch here, but we're on track now. As we look at the first set here today, number 1 of 6, as Jimmy said, and I think we're mostly trotters with maybe one pacer here. Let me find the sheet.
Yep, all trotters and one pacer, Jason.
Oh, they are just coming out now. Sorry, Jim, what was that?
I believe there's all trotters except for one pacer electric line.
Electric line, yes. So right off the bat, there's number 1. This is great timing, actually. Number 1, Affection. Chris Lems is going to drive. We pulled in some professionals here today. Chris Lems and Luke Ebersol and Daryl Thiessen from Ontario came to go with some horses. Very nice of them. We do have a driver change in the first. Memory and Imagination will be Logan Ebersol. He's a full brother to Luke, and he's going to pick up Daryl's 2 drives today. Daryl couldn't make it, so 2 driver changes. That's not too bad, though.
Yeah. The less changes we have, the better.
Exactly. Here we have Affection. Switch my thing over. Affection. This is the Father Patrick filly. She's been training really well. She was arguably one of our best for a long time this winter, and she's still right up there. She's a very nice filly. She's been a good filly. She was a little cranky in the beginning and took her a little while to get going, and once she did, she really got going, and she's trained very well the past few months.
Good pedigree. What kind of time frame are we in right now with them all, Jason?
Well, we're still going 1.5 miles, so we're kind of going like a half in 25 and then another half in maybe 12, 13-ish, and then we've come a couple halves in like 3 and maybe even 102, like going a third half. So I'm kind of interested today, going a mile and going in the bike, what some of them will do, because we've stuck to the 1.5 mile training this winter. So
yeah, we're kind of creeping into that territory. We're maybe a month away from qualifying or so with some of these.
Yeah, we're getting there. We had Northfield starts their gate schooling on Wednesdays. They just started this past week. We threw 1 set on the gate because we weren't done training in time, so we threw a set out there, and they all behaved very well. Actually, it was good. And
the more experience, the better.
Yeah, it seems nowadays you don't have a whole lot of issues. They seem to behave pretty well. So they were all really good the other day, and we probably won't school this Wednesday, maybe the Wednesday after. But as we get a little closer to, like you said, it's crunch time now. We're getting into qualifying time almost.
Yeah, and the one benefit being down there, a lot of these horses, they're at the racetrack. They've seen everything. There's not a lot of things that are surprising them. I guess you could say the first time when they school.
I think it's a big benefit being here at the track. Like this winter, they put in all new lights, so they had all that going on. They see the tractors, they see the water trucks, they see the shadows. They see everything. This group of horses is going to be ready to race when it comes time to race. They've seen it all.
Especially the Ohio breds that will be racing at Northfield quite often.
Exactly. Like this is home base. We don't have to ship or anything, and everybody else has to ship a couple hours rather than us going to Scioto. So I think when the sire stakes come here, it is an advantage for sure. What do we got for the rest of the field? Vaquero Blue Chip. Anthony's going to go with Vaquero Blue Chip. Another Father Patrick, a colt. Anthony likes going with this horse. He's been really good the last couple times, and I know he's a favorite of Anthony's. He really likes him.
Right. Yeah, this is a $50,000 purchase. Half brother to Spider Blue Chip, made $1.2 million.
Yeah, I know he didn't want to castrate him for the longest time, but we finally did. And actually, since we did, he's really come along. He's made a nicer gelding than he was a colt. Third up, we have Luke Ebersol is going to go with Irresistible Sun, a Triumphant Caviar colt. Really almost flown under the radar a little bit. He's trained well basically all winter and really doesn't do anything wrong, has a good attitude, and he's just been steady. but he's a very nice colt. He might not be as flashy as a couple of the others, but he's been a good horse for a long time now, and hopefully he carries it into the summer.
Yeah, this is a $23,000 purchase. What's your vibe on the Triumphant Caviars? Have you guys had many of them?
We've had a couple and have had almost zero luck with them. It seems the only guy that has really good luck with them down here is Chris Beaver.
Right,
But,
and he had him. I
he
believe,
had
right?
him, so it's kind of
Right.
funny. He does very well with them. We haven't done that good with him, but this colt, touch wood,
Right.
I think he might do us some good this summer. He appears to be a very nice colt.
Yeah, a little update. The half-brother Grateful actually made his way to Mohawk, and I believe he won an hours a 2 to 4 race up here, so he's trending
Yeah.
in the right direction.
Yeah, he's been, and I heard a report from someone else that had a 3-year-old. I think had the 3-year-old, and it got injured, but they were very, very high on it. And now, unfortunately, he got hurt, so they're going to breed her, just because they
Okay.
heard we did like this colt, and because of Grateful.
Right.
So a little bit of pedigree there, hopefully. But so they're going to breed her.
Could be a nice little surprise, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. We have Jason Merriman, who helps out here. He basically saved my sanity this winter by taking a big role and going with a lot of the babies and and doing a lot of stuff. Jason's been a big part of the stable this winter here, and I'm thankful he's here. He's done a great job. He is going to go with Blanton's Blue. I know this is another Anthony favorite, and he can only go with so many, but I know Anthony really
Right.
likes this horse and gets along well with him. This is another Chapter 7 colt who is a much better gelding than he was a stud. We took a
Right.
chip out of a left hind ankle, and while we were at it, we castrated him, and he's really come around. His attitude, he's turned into a pretty nice colt, and I know Anthony's pretty high on him.
Yeah, this is an exciting pedigree, actually. The second foal, the first one's Mamacita, who was the top tactical landing filly last year, and I believe she's making her seasonal debut at the Meadowlands tonight.
Right, he was pretty hesitant to castrate this guy, but it just kind of, the timing kind of worked out, so here he is.
Right,
He's a
sounds like
gelding.
it was a bit of a one-stop shop with the
Yeah,
castration
we
and the
just did
chip
it all,
and
did the whole
everything.
deal. 3 more to cover quickly. We have Militant with Lauren Harmon. Lauren's going with this 6-pack colt. Nice colt, does everything well. He's another one. He's steady. He does everything good. He does everything that's asked of him, and he's a pretty nice colt.
Right, this is a $23,000 purchase. The anticipated first crop of 6-pack. Any thoughts on those?
We have 3 of them. One of them is my own filly who's in the 6th set, Nicola Hanover, and I kind of targeted 6-packs because they didn't sell exceptionally well in Kentucky, I thought, so I looked at a bunch of them in Harrisburg, and I think we're pretty happy with them so far.
Yeah, this one has Charmed Life in the pedigree, 1.5 million, who did a lot of her work for John Bax and Dave Maneri up here.
Yep, very nice horse. Moving on, we have Memory and Imagination, another Father Patrick colt. This is kind of a nice colt. Logan Ebersol, late driver change, is going to go with him. He's been a nice colt, and he's really been coming around the last few weeks. A couple weeks ago, I was on the front end with a filly we're going to see later, Purple People Eater, and Memory and Imagination came first up and went by me fair and square and really impressed me that day. I haven't gone with him in a long time. I actually warmed him up
Right.
this morning. That was the first time I've sat behind him in quite a while. As we get to this point, we all kind of go with, end up going with kind of the same horses, but
Right.
he's been a good colt.
Yeah, $77,000 purchase. Father Patrick, like you said, Solveig in the second dam, which she doesn't need much of an introduction. Shake
No.
a Cherry and the stable zone brace for landing, actually.
Yes. And rounding it out, we have Electric Line and Daryl Thiessen, a lather up colt. He's starting to come forward. He was another one that got gelded, and we crowded some sesamoids on him behind, and he's starting to go in the right way a little bit. So hopefully he puts in a good
another first
performance here
crop.
today.
Another first crop sire lather up.
Yeah.
How many of those do you guys have?
We have 2, and we have one coming up later on who I think could be a very nice filly, Venice Blue Chip, a really nice filly, and I'm kind of excited to see her go in the bike too. She's been a very nice horse so far.
Yeah, speaking of electric, lather up certainly wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just insanely fast, that horse. Maybe not the best bred in the world, but he was scary fast.
Yeah, 46 flat, not
Yeah.
many quicker than that.
And I see Militant and Lauren on a break at the back. That's a little surprising.
Okay.
Chris Lems has Affection up on the front end. Anthony's going to remove with Vaquero Blue Chip. Luke got away 3rd with Irresistible Sun. Logan got away 4th with Memory and Imagination. Blanton's Blues back there in 5th. Electric Line gapped out a little bit in 6th. And Militant with kind of an odd break. Not really sure what happened there. Very unlike Militant. I don't want to throw Lauren under the bus because she's got to drive today at the Meadows for for Stacy in the amateur at the Meadows this
Uh-huh.
afternoon. So maybe she just used this to kind of warm her hands up a little bit.
I think Daryl's coming back for Flamborough as well, so we got some
Yeah,
active drivers in there in the field today.
Daryl's horse put a little step in there at the back too, electric line. Maybe just going a little much. I'm not sure. I don't have a watch on them. I wish I brought my watch. But up top is Vaquero Blue Chip. Looks really good. Affection glued right to his helmet. Irresistible Sun. Memory and Imagination. Logan's thinking about moving him first over. I'm on a little delay here on my iPad. I'm gonna watch the screen. Getting into the last turn, Vaquero Blue Chip still up at the front. Lem's giving a little squeeze with Affection. But the Vaquero horse looks very good up front today for Anthony. Memory and Imagination coming with one final kind of push, but I think Vaquero Blue Chip got the job done. Memory and Imagination went good. He's been good this colt. He's been really coming forward. And Affection was right there too. Daryl caught up a little bit.
Real nice gait on Vaquero Blue Chip.
Yeah, Anthony's put a lot of time into this horse. He always goes with him, and this horse, I don't want to say he struggled a little bit early on, but he just didn't find himself. And I think between the castrating and Anthony put a lot of time into him, and he's really come forward in a big way.
Yeah, I find Anthony, he really thrives with some of those problem childs.
Yeah, like I've been very lucky when the initial, like I joked his top 10 list a couple weeks ago. I go with 3 of the top 4, and he likes doing that. He likes going with some of the ones that kind of struggle and are having some issues, and he likes tinkering with them, and he does a heck of a job with them. And this colt here looked very good today. He's really come forward in the last month or so.
Yeah, the Father Patrick son, he looked good right on the blower, and it looked like he enjoyed doing his work.
Yeah, no, like I said, he's another one. He's a much better gelding for sure. The Memory and Imagination horse. This horse is just getting kind of sneaky better all the time. He's really improving. Yeah, I've been impressed with him lately.
Yeah, the stable, they've had quite a few Father Patricks, I believe, right?
Yeah, we've had some good luck with the Father Patricks. A lot of people, they can be tough to break and a little stubborn, but we seem to, I don't know, Anthony seems to do okay with them. Affection was very, very stubborn in the beginning, but then came around and has turned into a pretty nice filly. I was glad to see.
He certainly had his share of good ones. Amigo Volo, Green Shoe, Sister Sledge, and
Yes,
Local Star
he's been a
Patriarch
very
Hanover.
successful sire, no doubt about it. But no, they can be a little bullheaded to say the least. So those guys there look very good. Sure.
Okay.
Our first prize winner of the day, James Hassel. James wins a $25 account credit from thestable.ca. Knowing James, he's probably back here today, somewhere in the backstretch, watching his horses go. So good for James.
What kind of weather do we have there today, Jason?
Well, we actually got lucky. I woke up this morning early, and they were calling for thunderstorms now till 2 o'clock. So luckily, it looks like all that passed, and it's kind of warm. It's muggy. The sun hasn't really
Right.
come out, but it warmed up quite a bit from early this morning, and it looks like the rain's going to hold. So that's a big bonus.
Perfect. What kind of turnout today at the track?
I had a quick look downstairs. I was late getting up here in a shocker, and it looked like a pretty decent crowd down there getting breakfast and whatnot. It looked like a lot of people, and some more people were still filtering in because if you know us, you knew we probably weren't going to start right on time at 10 o'clock. That's just the way we go.
Moving on to set number 2 up on the screen.
Yeah, no, that was I was pretty happy with set 1. Just Electric Line made that little bobble, but then came back and finished with him. So the Militant one, a little odd, but we'll move on to set number 2. We have I'm Fancy Like. She's a first crop daughter of I keep saying Yankee Cruiser.
Dancing Yankee.
Dancing Yankee. I just keep thinking Yankee Cruiser.
There wasn't many tougher horses than Dancing Yankee, was there?
Oh my God, that horse raced so tough for so long too. He was a tremendous horse.
2 million the hard way.
Just a very, very nice horse. No, very nice horse. Very impressed with him. And this filly, she was a little stubborn early on. Okay. So they trained yesterday in Ontario. Curtis filmed some sets with the drone. So in between here, we're going to go to set 1 yesterday in Ontario. This is not live. Curtis was there and filmed it, so we're going to bring it to you live today. Well, not live, but we're showing you on this live. So we're going to show you set 1 yesterday from Ontario at First Line Training Center. And I'll be honest, Jimmy, you might know some of these guys better than me. I really don't know a whole lot about the Ontario crop. I've just, we've been busy down here, and I just kind of listen to what everybody says about some of them. I haven't had a good chance to watch a bunch of them.
Yeah, I just get the reports. I know there's quite a few well-bred ones there, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
we're kind of creeping into that time of year where you start getting reports on which ones the guys seem to like, and it'll be interesting going forward how they turn out.
Right, and like we said, I know here at least we end up kind of going with the same horses all the time now, and we've been doing so for a while. So no, it's interesting to watch these guys at home for sure. I kind of miss the drone here. We get the video.
We're finally starting to actually get some nice weather in Ontario. It was definitely a tough spring up in for a long time.
Yeah, every time I turn Mohawk on, it's raining. Thought I'm watching Fraser Downs or something. It's always raining there.
Yeah.
Usually the weather between Ontario and Northfield here is pretty similar, but obviously the last few weeks you guys have had a heck of a lot more rain. We've had some decent weather. We've had a few rainy days too, but not near as much as home. But some wet weather at home for sure. But
This track's certainly good at Mohawk right now. It is electric and they're flying, and we're starting to see a lot of good younger horses come out and making their sophomore debuts.
yeah, it's fun. Like the Fillies and Mares Owners of 2 went in 50 flat last night, and like James only won it by like a head. Like that's.
Yeah. No, I know they're real high on Malapano, but Starlight Dancer, she was also very impressive.
Yeah, she looked very good, and Jody's filly looks super too. Like that's tough for this time of year. Wow, like I said, the track is great there. They've really been going the last few weeks, the qualifiers and everything, and it's a fun time of year. You get through the winter, the weather starts getting a little better, and you get to start watching these, not only the 2-year-olds progress and get ready to qualify, you get to see the really nice 3-year-olds coming back too, and it's exciting.
Yeah, it's it's getting near Grand Circuit time, and along with that comes the baby races, in I believe starting in June. So for a lot of ones have hype all winter, and you kind of get to see what they're made of.
Right. No, it's always fun. Can sometimes be disappointing, but it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Sometimes they're nice surprises as well, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony talks at length about Austral Hanover last year, a horse that I don't think did anything super special training down, and then turned out to be a really nice horse. Some of them, once they see the gate a couple times, they just turn into different horses.
Yeah, it's nice when they do come full circle. That's for sure.
Absolutely. This set here looks like
Sitting
everybody's
in the
behaving
2-hole, I
pretty well.
believe. Yeah, sitting in the 2-hole, I believe, is the Captain Crunch colt, brother to Forever Boy.
Okay, time is on my side.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the reports are pretty good on him so far.
Yeah, I think they like him. I think that's James going with him.
Yep. I believe James usually goes with that horse.
Yeah. Throwing his head a little bit, but yeah, Captain Crunch, another first crop sire. Be kind of interesting to see how they go, and
The
very
reports are good from what I've heard. So
Yeah,
it'll
me
be,
too. I've heard some good stuff.
exciting to see. Well-bred horse and super fast.
Yeah, very well bred, very good horse.
Looks like Danny on the front with, or maybe that's Anthony.
I wasn't sure if Anthony was on the front or the back. I didn't catch all the. He had Amy down on 2 horses in the set, so Curtis is really slacking here lately.
Stride was.
Oh, who was that?
Mario, maybe?
Is that Mario? I'm watching on the iPad, not the screen. My iPad's a little behind. Yep. Mario with Mounts for All, maybe.
Mounts for All.
Indiana bred Swan for All colt. He was here for a part of the winter, and they had some stalls open up at home, so we decided to send him back home. Just Anthony said to pick a couple to send to Ontario, and he was one of them. I think Mary had been pretty high on him. That was kind of an odd break for him, but he just kind of ran out
Yeah,
of
now
nowhere.
the stable, they've had quite a few Swan Ferralls over the past.
Yeah, off and on. No, we've had a little luck. He's got a few more Indiana breds here this year, I think, than last year. We have a Swan Ferrall colt coming up here today, Mel Gibbs Swan. He's been training well. Indiana, another spot with a great program, and same as everywhere else where they go for a lot of money. It is tough racing.
Yeah, no,
they
that's for sure.
they go
Now,
very fast there.
how far of a ship would it be from where you guys are?
I want to say Hoosiers maybe about 5 hours.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it's a hike. Yeah, yeah. So we tend to just send the Indiana ones out there to somebody. Try to not travel too far. Miami Valley's done for us, which is good. Miami Valley's, you know, almost 3.5 hours from here at Northfield, so it's a hike. Makes for a long day.
Right. And do you guys race a ton during the winter? Or I know Brett and Stacy, they seem to have a few of the racehorses.
They had a few. We didn't ship to Dayton or Miami Valley a lot till just, you know, the stake races there the last couple
Stake
weeks
season,
at Miami. It's a long way to go to race an overnight horse, and the classes don't seem to work where we can get a few of them in to kind of make it worthwhile a little more. So,
Right.
no, basically race here at Northfield. I mean, they have lots of classes. They race 15 races a night, 4 days a week in the winter. So there's lots of racing, and if there was that didn't fit a certain class or something, then we would send them back home to Mohawk or to Miami Valley or somewhere to Brett and Stacy or something. But we didn't race a ton this winter. We had a ton of babies, and then all the 3-year-olds came back, and most of them are back and qualified and going now.
Right. And, you know, even though Northfield's a half, it seems like most of the horses adjust and get over it quite well, right?
It is. It's a different half. I've always said, one, it's very fast. And I think that one of the biggest things is how horses get around this track. You can bring a horse here from even a great half like Flamborough, and you can take stuff off the inside here. Like you can take a Murphy off or maybe a smaller head pole. It's almost NASCAR style where the way it's banked in that, and horses get around this track pretty easy.
Where are we at?
Just finishing up there. That was a good looking finish in that set. We are back. I'm live in studio. Jim's in Guelph.
Yeah. Cujo Entertainment's house, actually.
Oh, ready to home base for Cujo Entertainment. So we're getting ready for set 2 here. I'm going to pull it back up. Still has my name spelled wrong. I don't know what's with this guy.
Yeah, we got a set of 5 here, all Pacers, 2 Dancing Yankees, a Always Be Mickey, Lather Up, and a Captain Treacherous.
Yes, the Captain Treacherous colt, he's not very big, but I'll tell you what, he can go. He's a brother to Pure Country, Arson. I believe he was around an $80,000 purchase last year.
Yeah, 85, yep.
He trained phenomenal the other day, and he's been training well too. A very nice colt, not that big. If you had to kind of knock him, it might be his size. He's not very big, considering he has to go to PA, and obviously PA is all big tracks, but been training very good, a very nice colt. Pretty interested to see how he goes today for Daryl.
Yeah, you won't find much of a better pedigree right now in harness racing, that's for sure.
Right, and he kind of acts like it too. Still a stud. He was very, very good early on, and then he might have wandered a little bit, but the last probably 6-8 weeks, he's been really dialed in, and the other day he was fantastic. Logan Ebersol, actually, who filled in first in that first set, he helped us train on Wednesday, and the colt went by us down the lane and looked phenomenal. He looked really, really good.
Yeah, I would say this is definitely one of the icon of the Diamond Creek pedigrees, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Charleston, they made 400 last year. She's coming back to her sophomore year. And then a couple of the other mares, maybe not as impressive, but they've definitely thrown. I would say Confederate. He's definitely has the target on his back for the NA Cup and top 3-year-old. I would say right now.
Right, he's got to be one of the number 1 or 2 ranked colts, maybe with ammo. The way ammo's looked so far, but Confederate, very, very nice colt, and like you said, this family's pretty stacked. We'll go back to the inside with I'm Fancy Like, the Dancing Yankee filly. Really come forward in the last few weeks. First foal, like I said, a little stubborn to break early on, but she's been going really well. Eric Padalan, who moved to Oak Grove for us, kind of running the operation down there. He used to train her all the time. He really liked her, was a big fan of her, and he did a good job with her. So Jason Merriman's going to get the drive today, first time in the bike.
Yeah, the $32,000 yearling. Dancing Yankee, he is Ohio bred?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Next we have Chris Lems is going to go with Paycheck Princess. This is an Always Be Mickey filly, bred by friends and clients of ours, where a lot of the broodmares are, Schaefer Farms, who's, I know Jacob's been pretty pumped. His little horse, More Than You Know, has won the last 2 weeks in 50 at the Meadows, so I know
Yeah, he certainly was impressive yesterday.
he's been pretty excited with him. He's raced very good. This is an Always Be Mickey filly. She is out of the Jate LaBelle mare, Palazoo Princess. And
Yeah,
I know Jacob,
$14,000 yearling.
right? And I know I think they were a little disappointed with the purchase price, but she came back and they wanted to keep her and didn't want to give her away. And she's trained well. She used to make the odd break early on, kind of tinkered with her, messed with her shoes a little bit, and lately she's been really dialed in. She's been training very good. Chris Lems is going to drive today.
And Always Be Mickey, he's had his share of good top fillies, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's thrown a lot of very good fillies.
Moving on, Venice Blue Chip.
Venice Blue Chip. I'm very excited to watch Venice Blue Chip. Venice is a filly, again, I haven't gone with Venice Blue Chip in a long time, but I've watched her a lot and seen what she's done. She is a pretty impressive filly. I've been very happy with her. I know Anthony is. He doesn't go with her a lot either. I know Amy's gone with her a few times. Luke Ebersol is going to step up and go with her today. This is another filly Eric used to go with quite a bit. Jason Merriman's gone with a lot. Very impressive filly. Big, strong, athletic. I'm really looking forward to her today in the bike.
Yeah, $22,000 ticket, and on the maternal side, you see somebody somewhere in Cabrini, Hanover. Tough to get a better pairing than that.
Yeah, once you get down in that second dam and stuff, you know, you got Cabrini, Hanover, and that it's a pretty decent family. Another first crop, lather up. This filly's been a nice filly all along and has a pretty good burst of speed. I think she'll do some good stuff here today for Luke.
Okay, Born to Dance. Give us your thoughts on this one.
Born to Dance. He is, Anthony goes with him. He is one of the rare horses that, now I know he warmed him up in it. I don't know if he's going to leave it on. Anthony has put a shadow roll on this horse. Anthony is very anti-shadow roll. This guy tends to get looking at stuff a little bit. We jog him here with an open bridle all the time over the shadows, but still, once he gets going speed, he forgets they're there, and he can kind of see dead people. But a very, very fast colt. We gelded him early on, and he's really training well. He just doesn't love the shadows. So
Okay.
I'm hoping he behaves
cloudy
good.
today?
It's a little overcast. I don't know how much the sun's come out, so I think we might be okay. But this is a very nice colt, and he's really come forward. He's really gone and finishing his miles very strong because we don't really put him on the front or first over. We try not to, but he's always finishing very hard down the lane, and he's looked good. So it'll be interesting to see what Anthony does with him here today.
Maybe expect him to be covered up.
I would expect, depending on what I don't think the sun's really out too bad right now. I'm in the booth here, not out by the announcer's booth, but it was pretty clouded over early, which is a good thing for Born to Dance. So he's a little stubborn with the shadows, but Anthony warmed him up himself. I know I didn't have a chance to talk to him after, so I don't know if he wants any changes on him or that, but I'm interested to see how he does, but I would definitely expect him to be probably covered up.
Right. This is a $23,000 ticket, another Ohio bred. When does their stake season kick off?
Usually around the 1st of July. They have the Next Generation series here, of course. The first sire stake it used to always kind of be July 4th. They used to have a big thing at Scioto, but now that's when the Next Generation tends to go. But it's been pushed up too. So it looks like right now it's right around July 8th and July 9th. The Trotters will go on the 9th and the Pacers on the 8th. That's for the sire stakes. And the Pacers will be at Scioto and the Trotters will debut at Northfield. So second week of July, pretty well.
The Next Generation, how is Swinging Senorita? Any thoughts on her?
Yeah, she's come back good. You know, she's raced well. She's raced, you know, Ron Burke's filly, Rose Runyonaise, come back very good and beat her fair and square twice in a row. We beat her in the Hackett elimination. And I think right now, though, Rose Run Yolanda, Todd Luther's filly, just looks bionic. She went in 153 the other day, track record for Brett Miller. She was a very good filly last year. She, Swinging Senorita, who's a very, very nice filly in her own right, made over 200,000 last year. We never beat Rose Run Yolanda last year, not once. So it didn't matter if we were on the front or following her or what. We just couldn't seem to beat her. And
Right.
this year might be the same kind of thing. But hey, there's lots of money finishing second and third. So
Well,
we have a very nice
true,
filly on
then.
our hands. And yeah, we just got to play the year out. But I think she's right up there. She's come back good and strong, and she's raced well. I think she has a win second and a third and 3 starts and over 30,000 made. So I think she'll plug along
Sounds
and
like
make her
a
money. She's a nice filly.
bit of a snug division this year.
It really is. The trot. It's funny in Ohio, and this has happened a couple times now. The fillies, I don't want to say they're better than the colts because there are some very nice colts too, but the filly division seems really snug, and it usually is. It's kind of strange how it works down here, but there's a lot of nice fillies, and this year's no exception. There's 4 or 5 fillies. There's a couple fillies that Senoritas beat that are very, very nice fillies too. So I think it's going to be a long year, but definitely happy to have her back racing, and she's racing well.
Right. Now, when is her next stake engagement?
Her next stake is, I want to say it's 2 weeks Monday at Scioto. So we're going to try to find a race for her next week somewhere. A little difficult to find a race for her. Hey, my name's spelled right.
Right.
That's cool. A little difficult to find a race. She has 5 pari-mutuel wins, 230-some thousand lifetime, so it's kind of tricky to find a spot for her. Hopefully I can find a race. Worst case, I think we probably have to go like numbers of 4, fillies and mares 5 at Scioto, which is it's a snug group, but we'll need to start for her, so we may have to go that route.
Right. And how many divisions or legs, of the Ohio Sire Stakes is there now?
There's 5 this year for the first time. It's always been 4. Now there's 5, and if we get down to 1 division, I think this year, if we go to 1 division, they go for 100,000, pretty similar to Ontario. And they boosted the finals this year too. The finals go for 400,000 here this year. So
Wow, that's exciting if you get a piece of the pie, that's for sure.
yeah, if you can just get a little bit of that. So it's exciting to watch some of these 2-year-olds train, and keep your fingers crossed we can get a little bit of that stuff in September.
That's for sure. How many minutes to post for the second have we heard?
I haven't heard. I don't know if Anthony's been in contact with Curtis yet or not. I figure they would have been heading out. I don't know if we have any updates.
Yeah, any feedback from the first set from the fellas?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for him. We have an update, Curtis? Starting to spit a little outside. That's not good for Anthony. He doesn't like the rain.
Yeah. I hope they brought the mud gear.
Yeah, the boys will be really cranky. Yeah, Northfield says drizzle. Yeah, there'll be some a little drizzle. Well, it just says drizzle though. It's not rain, like drizzle. You know, drizzle's no big deal. Waiting on set 2. Hopefully they're not. It's not raining too hard, and they don't have to get the full mud gear or anything like that. It held off earlier, but it looks like we're not going to be that lucky.
Well, as long as they don't gotta get the fenders or anything out, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get that bad. The track was really good this morning.
This track, it generally stays pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, we just tend to get some of those big storms here in Ohio where it'll just rain and you can't even see out the door. There's been the odd instance where they had to cancel if a turn washed out or something, but normally the track's prepared and they're ready for it. So I would expect the track tonight to be lightning fast. Usually is.
Right, yeah. What's the old saying, when it rains it pours?
And they're heading out for set 2. He said, I hope Anthony stays dry. It'd be terrible. There's
Getting a
Jason
look at
Merriman,
Paycheck Princess.
Oh, there you go. Militant is going again in set 5.
Yeah, the reports are she lost a shoe.
Lost the
first set.
shoe. Lauren Harmon's blaming it on the lost shoe. Okay. She's going again. There's I'm Fancy Like Chris Lamb. Or sorry, my apologies. Paycheck Princess. Chris Lamb's the Always Be Mickey filly. Chris and Luke and even Daryl, you know, nice enough to, I mean, these guys have horses of their own too, so they're nice enough to, I don't know if volunteer is the word, but get persuaded by Anthony to come in and,
Put the
and
morning
train
in?
for. Yeah, you know, it's a big help to have guys. Chris Lem's one of the leading drivers here, and Luke, a guy that's always helped us over the years, you know, whether it be qualifiers or the open house or gate schooling, he's always pretty quick to say yes and come in and give us a hand, so it's appreciated.
Great to get different feedback from guys with so much experience as well, I bet.
Yeah, it is, and like my own filly, for instance, in set 6, I didn't go with her the other day. Anthony made the sets, and I said, "You fired me on my own filly." He said, "Well, I figured you'd want to stay with Pickpocket," which I kind of did. But it's kind of fun to have. One day we trained and we had a scratch, and I got Jason Merriman to go with her. Like I sit behind her every day, and it's kind of nice to have somebody guys that actually drive horses every night. And like I like my filly, but I like hearing the other guys kind of say they like her too. They drive a lot of horses, so Luke's going to go with her in the 6th set, so kind of interested to see how she goes.
On the screen, I'm Fancy Like there with Jason Marin himself.
Yep, the big white-faced I'm Fancy Like out there. Yeah, she's a filly. She's fast. She was real stubborn early on, maybe even lazy. Like she didn't really want to go, and then once everything clicked, she was like, "Oh, okay, we race now. This is what we do. Super." And she's been training good, so interested to see how she goes here today.
Another lazy Always Be Mickey filly actually qualified the other day. Wasn't too bad last year. Sylvia Hanover.
Sylvia Hanover, yeah. That filly I think would drive me up the wall. The way she acts down the backside and then just hits another gear down the stretch, like I don't know if I've ever seen a really good horse act like that. It was remarkable. But just a heck of a filly. It was just like there was no end to her.
Ultra impressive yesterday morning, I thought, that's for sure.
Yeah, good. I seen they had a big day qualifying there. The Stacy Barn and Bob went with a bunch of them. Yeah, it was just watching that filly. She was just the way she would kind of drop the bit down the backside and then wouldn't let very, very good fillies go by her down the lane. It was kind of odd.
We saw our first taste of Stockade Sealster actually in Canada as well yesterday, prepping for the SBOA next Saturday night.
Yeah, I had a couple people message me in a group chat actually, and was like, "Wow, that horse looked good," and he did. He looked very impressive. I went back and watched the replay, and yeah, he looked super. His qualifiers, it's hard to tell going by the Florida track. You know, it's a clay track, and it just seems it's when you're kind of going with a stopwatch at the quarter poles and stuff. But yesterday's mile looked super impressive.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and he's also, I would say, very excited to be gearing up for the Pepsi North America Cup.
Yeah, I would think so. I think he's going to use the SBOA as a kind of a springboard and hopefully into a profitable season for him. Very nice colt, and he looked like he was minding his manners yesterday too, where he would get a little warm last year on Jody a couple times.
Yeah, a lot of horses mature 2 to 3, and hopefully he's got it all put together and maybe probably the real deal.
Yeah, very fast horse for sure. The boys are circling here, getting ready to go. Had the camera on Luke and Venice Blue Chip in a second ago. This filly's a tank. She's big and strong and a very, very good looking filly too. She's kind of impressive, that's for sure. Daryl and Arson. You can see on the screen Arson, he's a little fellow, but tell you what, his legs move pretty fast. He's got a lot of go this colt.
Now, do some of these horses, do they have trends already? Some like to come off a helmet, or some like to cut out training miles, or?
I think you notice little things like Arson. I find him better following all the time. If he's got a target in front of him, he'll chase it and attack, and he'll go right by. He might be a little lazy on the front end a hair. Not even lazy, just kind of green. I mean, they're still babies that haven't qualified yet. But if he has a horse in front of him and something to chase, he'll chase it for sure.
Right.
Paycheck Princess, she used to get a little warm for a bit, so we kept kind of bringing her off the pace, and she's learned to do that very well, where she did get hot for a little while a couple months ago, and the guys have done a good job with her, just keeping her quiet and teaching her to charge home finishing and whatnot.
Yeah, lots of times these lazy ones all winter, sometimes they're the ones they see the gate for the first time, and they really come to life.
Right, whether it be throwing them in the race bike for the first time or hitting them on the gate or whatever, it all of a sudden just sparks things up, and they're like, "Oh, okay, let's go." There's Anthony and Born to Dance. He did elect to go with the shadow roll today. Good looking colt, very fast colt. He if he gets his, I don't even want to say he gets his head on straight because he knows what he's doing training. He just likes looking at stuff on the track, and it's kind of odd, but he can go fast, that's for sure.
Looks like the fellas are turning. We're getting ready to go here for set number 2.
Yep. Small set of 5. I might get my stopwatch on my phone here and try to amateur hour this time. Anthony elected for a tail tied professionally, yes. Anthony went with a tail tie today on Born to Dance 2. Interesting. Taking up a lot of the track here when we go across. Normally when we train, we just kind of start single file or maybe 1 or 2 on the outside, but when we do the video and we try to start across, it's not always easy. It's busy here. You know, it's a racetrack.
Right.
It's
How many horses would be on the grounds there?
I'm guessing it's got to be 400 or 500 maybe.
Wow.
The good thing is there is a backtrack too, so that helps. You know, we take a lot of the horses out to the backtrack. We take a lot of the babies out there, and they tend to really relax. You're not allowed to train on the jogging track, so horses tend to go out there and kind of mind their manners and behave. Even a hot horse, if you take a hot horse out there and put them back there, they'll behave pretty good.
A little more relaxed environment and
Right.
not as much action. Venice Blue Chip on the front.
Venice
here.
on the front. I got to keep watching on the monitor, not my iPad. Luke put Venice right on the front. She's kind of, you know, she's one set from everywhere this year. Like I said, a very nice filly.
Real pretty going, efficient gait it looks like.
Yeah, she's a very strong horse. You see her in person, like she's a big, good-looking horse, a lot of muscle. Jason with I'm Fancy like. She's better off a helmet too. She'll just pay attention a little bit more. Anthony got away third, Born to Dance. Chris and Paycheck Princess, and Daryl with Arson. Wondering how fast they go. I kind of want to see Arson finish up. He can move quick, this little horse.
Is the passing lane something you guys use in training? Getting them used
yeah,
to dive to the inside?
Yeah, no, we'll dive into the inside and stuff all the time, like kind of on purpose sometimes too. Just get them used to it. That way, when you're first time in a race, they're not like, hey, what are we doing?
Yeah, some horses, they get pretty used to passing on the right side and maybe a little lost the first time they duck
Yeah,
down.
exactly. No, when we're training them, we try to do everything kind of, you know, show them everything, you know, different things. Show them, like, make them go up the inside. And if a horse has a Murphy or something on the outside and they tend to run out, well, get them used to the passing lane. You'd rather do it now than when they're going for money.
Well, yeah, be prepared for every scenario. Looks like we got Arson making a quick move here.
Arson's moving up to the outside, yeah. Chris was going to follow him. Anthony stayed to the inside with Born to Dance.
Pocket pop here, I'm Fancy like.
Yeah, Jason moving I'm Fancy like here. Luke and Venice on the front. Born to Dance is coming. And the filly just said, oh, he might have got there in the last step.
Anthony might have got up.
He might have got there.
Blue might have looked like he was sitting on a little more.
Yeah, Venice is, she's got the Murphy on the outside too. I don't know if she saw Jason coming, but Anthony was coming hard up the inside.
Uncharacteristic skip there after the mile. Clearly Shadow Roll, no issues today.
Yeah, no, he behaved today. This is a fast colt if he behaves himself. It definitely is. He's got a lot of talent. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Venice there. Just get out of gear. That was odd. Hit that turn. Yeah, they kind of took off on the front up there, but when Chris moved, he ended up third over, but Jason pulled the pocket and Anthony slid up the inside, and I think they came a pretty decent half there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looked like their legs were rocking pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, I'd say that last eighth or last quarter, they were dancing, definitely. This colt looked good today.
Sounds like it's pretty windy there.
It wasn't bad early, but maybe with the rain and stuff, things are picking up a little bit.
Right.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, our second prize winner today is Mary Warner, a $25 account credit from thestable.ca. Congrats, Mary.
There you go. Mary and Jim so far, the lucky prize winners. So Curtis is going to bring us up set number 2 from yesterday in Ontario. We have Winter Bells. I believe that's a shadow play filly they kind of like.
Yeah, I talked to Anthony there yesterday, and we're kind of prepping who the front runners are, and talking about the stables in each side of the border. And I think Winterbell's the shadow play filly. They're pretty high on.
Widespread Panic, another colt that was here, and we sent him home because Anthony was kind of going with him all the time, and I see Danny's down to drive him, so Anthony used to go with him all the time here, so I said, well, you might as well take him home, and now he's got Danny on him, so hopefully that's a sign he's training really well.
Lonely Lakewood, I believe that's the Selfie Queen sibling, Father Patrick.
Yeah, I think the reports on her are pretty good too.
Yeah, a pretty quick colt from what I've been told.
Flash Fly.
The Green Shoe.
That's the green shoe, okay.
Green shoe
Drebin is Drebin a Walner?
Walner colt, yep.
Okay.
Anthony's reports are pretty high on that guy, I believe.
Yeah, I know the Walner colt here. He's been super impressive. He's another one. He gets in the bike today. I don't know what he might do, but he's been pretty good all along. Very, very nice colt. Pickpocket. We're going to see him later on.
And speaking of Walner, I believe that's a $40,000 US stud fee now.
Is it up to 40,000? Wow.
I think so, yeah.
He's had a pretty incredible first couple crops, that's for sure. Especially he has to. His horses are racing against Muscle Hills and everything too in New Jersey. Like it's no joke there. Like his horses have been
it's
pretty crazy.
Lots of raw speed, it seems like, from the Walners.
Yeah, definitely. A couple guys making mistakes at the time.
Jayport Beach Boy from the first crop of Mick Wicked.
Yeah, I thought he was the McWicked. Looks like he's up in third there.
Lakewood. Looks like Johnny on the front with Lonely Lakewood, and Anthony in the two-hole with Drebin.
Yep. Jayport Beach Boy in third. That's Mario, I believe.
Yep. Flash Fly followed by Winter Bells.
I think that's Danny catching up a little bit with Widespread Panic, maybe.
Panic. That's one you said you guys had down there?
Yeah, we had him here for a little bit, and we castrated him, crowd some splints on him, and sent him home. Anthony used to like going with him a lot, so.
Right. What breed is he?
He's another one. I want to say he might be a Swan Furl.
Oh, okay. It'll be interesting how a lot of these babies. How many is there in total?
Geez. I think we're
Must
still
be close to the 50, 60 range.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still around. It's got to be close to 60, maybe 55.
Right.
I think we're still around almost 40 here.
All these different jurisdictions get going. There, Kentucky, Ohio, Ontario, Indiana. I think he even had a couple Illinois ones last year.
Yeah, we have 2 Illinois breds this year too. AC Swan and Alibaba, 2 Illinois breds. If they have a stake program, he'll buy one from somewhere. A couple years ago, we had Jazzy Judy out in Delaware, and then they don't go any. We didn't buy any for there this year, but he's had Delaware and.
Kind of a cool story, was Jazzy Judy.
Jazzy, yeah, she won the big final out there in Dover for us.
There was only so many eligible, and Anthony put his hand up and.
Yeah, he bought her at the sale. I think there was they announced when she was walking in there was 26 eligible or something to the 2-year-old filly trotters, and he was like, oh, okay. So sold him, and he bought her, and she ended up winning the final.
Do you guys have any Delaware breds this year?
I don't think so. No,
No.
no Delawares. So right here now we mostly got PA, New Jersey, Ohio.
Okay. And seems like the Kentucky program, I guess most of them are dual eligible, right?
Yeah, I think they're the dual eligible. I know we have some of them, and I know there's talk of a few of them going here to Oak Grove shortly. So
How long's that meet go for?
I think somebody said July. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. And then they roll into, I think they go right in, because they race at the Red Mile before the Grand Circuit, obviously. They race a lot of late closers and whatever else.
Right.
And then I think the new track's supposed to finally be open this fall, too. So, yeah, things in Kentucky are
Right.
definitely on the upswing.
What was the name? Corbin, I believe, right?
Corbin, yeah. It wasn't ready last year, so they raced that meet at the Red Mile, I believe.
Right. Seems like a place to be, and a lot of money there, and a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we've had a good go at Oak Grove so far. Things have been good. You know, the horses seem to be fitting the classes good, and they've been racing well. Eric and his wife Kathy, they've done a very good job, and the horses have been good.
Have you had an opportunity to get there yet?
I haven't. I've never been there. Never been there. Maybe
Seems
one
like
day
a
I'll
pretty
get down.
cool
It's a bit of a
place.
haul from here.
Right, and not too far from Nashville, they tell me.
Only Lakewood. I think Johnny went all the way with that filly. Looked pretty good. Drebin looked really good. Jayport Beach Boy looked really good.
The reports I got from Drebin yesterday, I guess I know Anthony
Good
was
looking
pretty high
set
on
at
this
home.
colt. Yep.
A lot of Father Patricks this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, he you know he's one of those sires maybe gets a little overlooked at the sales this after having a few crops, but he's definitely had some production. I
Hey,
wonder if we're gonna
Curtis, I
get any
lost Jimmy in
reports.
my ear.
Oh,
Hmm? Oh, you there, Jim?
yep.
I lost you for a second. I didn't know if my thing was on or... Anyway, we're back. So that was
Hopefully we
set.
can get some reports from the fellas, maybe from the first couple sets.
Yeah, I figured he'd be doing a little video with the phone here right now. I think the kids had his
Yeah,
phone,
I
though. They
think-
might have took off with it.
Right, yeah. I think Jamie is there.
I saw her downstairs earlier. I think she was going to try to speak to some people.
Moving on to set number 3 in Northfield.
Yep. Back to a field of 7. So they're getting ready to roll for set number 3 here. Getting ready to come right out, and then Anthony's going to join us after set 3. And I believe Jamie's going to have an interview for us. So set 3, everybody on the trot.
Big field of 7. Any front runners here?
Little bit of everything here. We got kind of a mixed bag. I know Anthony's very high on Pull the Shoes. He likes going with her, and she's been a good filly so far. She's really come forward in the last little bit. Just training really good and doing her work well. Green Shoe filly, like the others, I think she was a little stubborn to break, and once she got going, she's been training really well. One of my favorites, if not my favorite one to actually train, just to sit behind. I don't know if she'll be the best or anything like that. Is the filly Amy's going with. Really don't care. She's been up near the top of Anthony's list all winter, I know. Just a very, very nice filly. Doesn't wear hobbles or anything. No ear hood, no nothing. A little kid could drive her. She does nothing wrong. She sits in a hole and you move her and she's gone. She'll win a set on the front too. I won the set here Wednesday on the front end with her, and she'll just do anything you want with her. Just a very, very nice filly. New York bred. I wish she was Ohio. That's all I know.
Yeah, I have heard the reports are pretty good and fond of this one. Really don't care. A $70,000 ticket. Hard to go wrong with Chapter 7 these days.
Yeah, another very successful sire. The great thing about this filly, she actually runs out a little bit, so I think she's going to be tailor-made for. I think New York is a good place for her. Whether it's Monticello, Saratoga, Buffalo, Batavia, some of those smaller tracks.
Right.
She just zips around here like it's nothing.
Yeah, and another Chapter 7, the kind of maybe deja vu, was Bomb Hugger.
Right.
Used to do well on the smaller tracks in the New York circuit.
Yeah, she excelled on the little tracks, and then of course that year you'd go to the big track or go to Yonkers, and you'd have Joviality racing against you. So that kind of slowed things up a little bit, racing against a great filly like her. But Bomb Hugger was a very good filly. This filly, I'm very high on her. I really like her. She's definitely one of my favorites to train here. I just said,
Joviality moved her career on to Sweden and is still undefeated over there.
Right, I seen that. Yeah, she's racing great. She was a great filly, just a very, very nice
real
filly.
terrific. I mean, she just got beat in the Hamiltonian against the boys, and
right. She'd have the 7 or 8 hole Yonkers and snap over to the front like it was nothing. Like just a very, very good filly.
He's had a couple other good ones. Atlanta, Chimpanzee, last year's Hamiltonian winner, Cool Papa Bell.
No, very successful sire.
Yeah, this really don't care. She's actually got the pedigree to match. Maybe she could be something special. The second dam, Cedar Dove, dam of When Doves Cry.
Right.
And last year's 2-year-old Cypress Hanover, a $475,000 yearling who just qualified last week in 54-4.
I said to Anthony pulling up the other day, I won the set with her. Somebody came at me. Jason came at me with I'm Fancy Like, who we saw earlier, and went a pretty decent mile, and Jason never got by me. And he couldn't get to buy me with a pacer. And I said to Anthony pulling up, I said, I've worked for Irv Miller, Tony Alanya, Blake McIntosh. I've trained a lot of babies. I think this filly could be one of my favorite babies I've ever trained.
Well, that's definitely saying something.
Not saying she's the best or anything like that, but she's just so fun to train. You can put her anywhere in the track. She's 2 fingers. Just move her over and chirp to her, and she's just gone. And then she'll come right back to you too. Like you can move her to the front and then let somebody go, no problem. She's pretty remarkable. She's a really nice filly to train, and I think Amy's gonna have fun with her here in the bike. We got
coming out on the track here soon.
I think they're getting ready to. No, that's a jog cart. A couple of the guys back there finishing off, warming them up. Joey Cramp, Scott Hill. And our man Chuck.
Also in this set, we've got Victory Blue Chip, a $25,000 international money colt. Any thoughts on him?
I like this colt. I used to go with him quite often, and Jason's been going with him a lot lately. I like this colt. He's starting to put everything together. I think he might be like a better kind of fall colt. Like he's a big colt, and he hadn't quite grown into himself yet, but a really nice colt, and he's got some go too. I don't know if anybody remembers way back at the winter open house, Amy went with him and circled the field, and he looked super doing it. He's a fast colt, and he's got a good attitude. I think just physically he's got to kind of catch up to his body, and when he does, I think he could be a very nice horse.
Quite a bit of success from the thestable.ca with the international monies last year. Crantini, Carter Michael Deo, Spitfire Overseas, and Austral Hanover.
Yeah, I know, first crop sire, you never know, but it looked like they were successful, and I know Anthony bred a mare or two to him, and he was that kind of fond of him, but this colt's well behaved too, and another one, he got gelded not too long ago, so I really think this colt could come on and be a very nice horse.
Right, and we're gonna get to see our first taste of Spitfire Overseas on Monday night, I believe, at Plain Ridge, going for $100,000.
Yeah, I forget the name of the stake off the top of my head, but yeah, I know he was heading to Plain Ridge, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, I know he qualified very, very good, and I know James is pretty high on him. James doesn't get too excited about any of them. I don't think he doesn't get
No.
he doesn't get too pumped up, but he's pretty excited about this guy.
It seems like a Victory Blue Chip. He's got the pedigree maybe to go with the looks as well. Second dam, Queen Serene.
Mm-hmm.
A horse, she put away 750,000, but I believe she was the one Ron Pierce was waving bye to down the stretch.
Ah, that's probably what she's most famous for. But yeah, I like this colt. I do. His attitude and everything's really come around, and I think down the road this could be a very nice horse. And he might even go super today. I'm not sure, but he's been a nice horse, and he showed a lot of speed.
January 22nd, January 22nd full. Sometimes do you find they're a little ahead of the curve, or do they all maybe catch up come June? Or
I think unless you're a really late foal or really small, I think once you get kind of racing, I think everything kind of evens out.
Right.
January's maybe a touch early even. You see a lot of kind of February, March. I mean, I don't buy many babies, but when I'm buying, that's not something that really bothers me. If it's a late foal, but I like the look of the horse, then I'm not concerned. We got
Southwind Digit.
Yep, Chris Lems is going to go with Southwind Digit, the bar hopping filly. Nice filly. Really doesn't do a lot wrong. Good attitude. She's, like I spoke about a couple earlier, just steady. I mean, she's always there. She always does things well, and she's a nice filly.
What was the bar hopping filly you guys had quite a bit of success with? Was that last year or 2 years ago? I think it was the Tipsy and Dixie family.
Oh, geez, what's her name now? I think we just bred
it'll
her.
it'll come to us.
I think we just bred her too. And of course, I'm gonna draw a blank. Oh, what the heck was her name?
It was.
You're going on tracking, aren't you? You're cheating.
I've got the track fired up.
I don't know why I can't remember this filly's name.
I think the mare was Twinbee Alibi.
I think so.
It'll come to us. The
Yeah, we'll
service
figure
is
it
not
out.
cooperating. Speaking of bar hopping, though, filly, also Bella Bellini and Date Night.
Yeah, he's been successful, that's for sure. And like I said, this is a nice filly. Good attitude, trots nice. She's a nice filly. My brother's watching. He just texted me. Tie one on.
Tie one on. That's it.
Good job. Good job by Kirby remembering.
Yeah, Kirby, he's pretty sharp. He doesn't miss too much.
Yeah, he's watching and he remembered she was on the tip of my tongue and I couldn't think of it. Tie one on. So yeah, we've had some luck with the bar hoppings and this is a nice filly.
What about Levesque in Action? Any thoughts on her?
Levesque in Action, Anthony bought her after the select sale here. They had the sale and the people bought her back and then we bought her after. A little goofy, a little erratic at times, but she's been really well behaved the last little bit. As we go a little faster, it starts to take the edge off some of these guys. So she's been going forward for sure.
And Uncle Peter, I know you guys have had quite a few of those.
Yeah, a lot of people don't love the Uncle Peters down here. We've had some good luck with them, so I definitely have no problems with Uncle Peters. They can have a little attitude and stuff at times and be a little difficult, but they can go fast, that's for sure. I like the Uncle Peters as a breed.
And he's been a mainstay in Ohio, I believe, for quite a long time.
Yeah, he's been here quite a while and been very successful. And yeah, I definitely have no problem buying an Uncle Peter.
Alibaba.
Alibaba. Yep, we're getting into the Illinois.
This is in Illinois.
Yep.
I see class included. It looks like he's a full brother to Muscle Hill.
Ah. Muscles Yankee out of Yankee Blonde.
How's she going?
She's going okay. She's a big, strong filly. I would like to think she'll be pretty useful in Illinois. I mean, I got to think the program there is a little softer than Ontario or Ohio or anywhere else, just because
Right.
there's not as many and the pedigree's not there. But you know, this mare's had some decent foals. You know, had some triumphant caviars, 86,000, 78,000, 67,000, and of course Pierre Kemp, the Muscle Hill, who made 100,000, took a mark of 53. So her family's not bad. This is a big, strong filly, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her do pretty well this winter, or this summer rather.
Right.
In Illinois.
384,000 on the mare side as well.
Right. No, this
Second
is
dam getting into Hamiltonian winner Amigo Hall.
yeah. No, this isn't a bad filly. Big, strong filly, and Daryl's going to get her his first taste of her today.
Purple
Daryl likes to
People
travel.
Eater.
He might go have to go out to Illinois to drive her. He's not afraid to travel.
Yeah, you never know. I think he's back to Flamborough tonight, if I'm not
Yeah, I think
mistaken.
he's going to take off as soon as we get out of here.
On the Purple People Eater, Jace. Purple People Eater.
She's been going really well the last few weeks. Nice filly, very nice filly. Lauren looks after her, and Lauren's going to train her today. So hopefully she goes well for Lauren and doesn't lose any shoes. Purple People Eater is out of the DeJarmbro mare Purple Sona. Of course, you know, followers of the stable, Purple Aura, the creatine filly we had. Took a mark of 155 and 4. Took a mark of 56 and 2. I believe is still the track record in Dayton, and she made us 136,000 last year before being sold as a broodmare. Very nice filly. Does a lot of good. Won some races, and this is her sister right here by What the Hill.
And beaten time of 53 and 2 in Ohio. That's up there pretty good.
Yeah, no, she was a nice filly. Just you know, she had her days where she'd be a little better than other days. The day she took her mark of 55, she done it. I believe Josh Sutton drove her and came first up on a filly of Virgil Morgan's. I want to say her name was Alana Hill. She won probably 12 races last year. And she came first up and kind of put it to her and win. So when she was on her game, she battled tie up and some stuff that trotting fillies do. But when she was on her game, she was a very solid filly.
Yeah, and creeping into that third dam, you notice the name Marion Marauder, 150 and 2, 3.6 million.
Right. No, you get
I
down
believe,
there a little bit.
Nothing But a Dreamer's maybe from that similar line.
Ah, okay.
Unfortunately, he had to be scratched last
Scratched
night.
last night, yeah. Picked a bad time to get sick, but it happens.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure you know, you look after the horse, they'll look after you, and going forward, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. First start of the year. I mean, yeah, we'd love to race in the SPO ALM, but you know, hopefully he's got bigger things down the road, and
That's
you
right.
know, somebody like Harry who's very hands-on. I mean, Harry Bolton does a great job. He's had a tremendous go for a year or more now. He's had a great stable.
Yeah, I mean, even dating back, he's had quite a go his whole career.
Oh, he's you know, trained two horses that are probably in the Hall of Fame and world record holders. Matt Scooter on the
Yep.
road again, and you know, Harry doesn't leave anything to any stone unturned. So finding out that horse was sick yesterday, you know, if we raced the horse sick, and that might have messed him up for 3 or 4 weeks, who knows? So
Yep, you're jeopardizing the whole year, and
right, it's unfortunate he had to be scratched, but better to scratch
lots more
now
on the
than race
agenda
him
for
sick.
him.
Yeah, he's got a long year still.
Harry,
so.
I think we're gonna get to see the second start from Sintra tonight.
Yeah, Cintra's in
Off the
tonight.
shelf.
Yeah, raced okay last night. Just a super nice old horse. I mean, he's class. That's all he is.
He's the definition of class.
Yeah, just a great horse. Was a great horse for a long time for Dave Maneri, and they sold him. And I know he gave Anthony one of his biggest thrills by finally winning the Gold Cup and Saucer for him. So Cintra's probably not leaving the barn anytime soon.
No, were you down there for that?
No, I wasn't. I didn't make the
No.
trip, but no, pretty. I've been there before. I've raced in it, so no, it was pretty cool to see him win it.
There's a look at Really Don't Care.
Yeah. Amy got the pigtails going today. Yeah.
Number 2.
Trotting along. She's not a super big filly. She's just kind of medium, which again for New York, I think like she's kind of built for New York, so it'll be a good spot for her.
Same kind of thing. All the 2-year-old programs generally kick off the same time of year.
Pretty much, yeah. I think actually the Kentucky ones at Oak Grove go first. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They
but
were.
like first week of June. The
Yep,
2-year-olds?
I think you're right. I remember last year they were, and they you better be ready too when you go.
Oh yeah, they're that's what I think. I don't know who exactly is dual eligible. I know Anthony's talked about sending Pickpocket there, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
The so the dual eligible, you can basically be any sire as long as the mare resides in the state of Kentucky for a period of time.
Right, I think it's something like that. I don't know all of ours that are dual eligible. Like
Right.
I said, I want to say Lovers Play, who we're going to see later on, and Lovers Play and Pickpocket are two I know he's been talking about sending, kind of as long as things go good here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
Lots of money there in the state of Kentucky, and it seems like some of the sires are just going there to stand to begin with.
Yeah, I
I
think.
know we've seen Chimpanzee and Pebble Beach.
Yeah, Pebble Beach went there last year, like just there, rather than the dual eligible stuff. They're going
Right.
Kentucky, and that's it. So Pebble Beach, first crop of Ohio sire down by the seaside, and now he's standing stud too. So
Yeah, he's definitely been something else, hasn't he, down by the seaside?
yeah, we've had a couple, and no, he's had a great go here in Ohio for sure, and the Grand Circuit stage too. Pebble Beach, kind of got him going and winning some big races last year, including the North America Cup, and just a heck of a horse.
Looks like we're getting ready to rumble here.
Yeah, gang's getting lined up. Tough to get 7 of them all. Kind of. We almost need a gate out there.
Seven, yeah.
Almost need our own
Might
gate
be a
just
couple
to get
trailers,
everybody.
maybe.
I don't know.
How I know they go 8 wide there, but how wide is the track?
Pretty much 8. Like when the gate
Is
goes.
it? Yeah. Okay.
If you watch Northfield, you see how the gate goes different than any track I've ever seen. The gate kind of moves at the head of the stretch, and goes all the way around. And when the gate opens its wings by the paddock here, the rail horse is actually down in the pylon. So lots of times you see the rail horse kind of hold back a little bit until you get into the turn,
Right.
and then the track's 8 wide. So down the backside, it might not even be a full 8 wide.
I do notice when they pick them up, it seems like before the wings are even opened, usually 2 or 3 are waiting to plunk them on the car, and then the gate picks them up.
Right. Go over to the monitor here so I can be a little more live. Looks like
Yeah,
everybody got out of there
Anthony.
good.
Amy on the front with Really Don't Care.
Amy put her on the blower, but Anthony's coming with Pull the Shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, she could be a long car ride home if she leaves them out there.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony moved up now with Pull the Shoes. Amy and Really Don't Care sitting second. Looks like Daryl and Alibaba got away third. Victory Blue Chip and Jason sitting fourth. Lems and Southwind Digit. Luke Ebersol and Levesque in action. And Lauren ducked Purple People Eater. No friends out there. She had to go right back to last.
Everyone's trotting, though. Something to be said for that.
No, everybody looks good so far. I know Anthony's
And,
been really happy with this filly lately up on the front end. So
She looks like a pretty bigger filly. Is she? Pull the shoes?
she's a pretty decent size. Yeah, she really is.
Lots of leg to her, it looks like, and
Yeah.
big gait.
Amy tightening up. Really Don't Care wears a Murphy blind on the outside, so Anthony might screw her up here by putting her into the passing lane, but she'd probably be better off going to the outside if she can get there. There's
Here
Lems moving
comes
Southwind
Southwind
Digit.
Digit.
Going to catch a little cover from Alibaba. Daryl moved Alibaba, the big Illinois bred filly.
Second over is Digit and Victory,
Victory.
riding the rail. And here,
Purple's making a little
Purple
move
People
now.
Yep, bit of a move. A little choppy going and rolled
Oh.
off.
Purple run. And Levesque struggled in that turn a little bit, but
Oh, easy, Amy. Nope.
yeah, Pull the Shoes. Wow, look great.
Real good. Good set in general and all.
Really Don't Care got up for second. Only mistake was Purple. Lauren's 0 for 2. Hopefully she shakes it off for the Meadows today for driving Stacy's horse in the amateur.
Now, how far is the Meadows from Northfield?
2 hours.
2, right. Now, do you guys generally go there to race or send them over to Tim?
We usually just send them over to Tim. It just, we have a good relationship, and I got enough on my plate here usually than to run over and go to the meadows and stuff. So, yeah, we'll
Put the
get them
day in,
ready
right?
and send them over to Tim.
Speaking of Tim, we actually get to see our first look at Forever Boy on Sunday night at Flamborough Downs.
Yeah, Flamborough, the Jaravinsky, got some nice horses up there.
Yep, should be. Hopefully the weather's good, and I believe someone said he schooled quite well last week.
Yeah, I seen he qualified, but when he qualified, it was muddy, so I don't think he went maybe as fast as they wanted, so maybe that's why they schooled him. I think and correct me if I'm wrong, did he qualify in like 154 or something, but it was in the mud?
I think so. Yep.
See Dexter coming up to go with him.
Dex is coming up.
Yeah.
We're getting a look. I think our first look in Canada actually at By the Missile. No, sorry, he was up for British Crown last year.
Yeah.
But he is coming up, and fresh off of New Jersey Breeders.
Yeah, he looked great out in New Jersey there. That 2-horse field, he won by 42 or 62 lengths or something.
Yeah, I don't doubt he's ready to rumble, though.
Yeah, I'd say he's ready to rock. We have another prize winner, Randy Hill. Randy wins a $25 account credit from thestable.ca. Congratulations, Randy. Perfect. So we're going to get ready. Curtis is going to pull up and show us set 3 from Ontario yesterday.
We're kind of creeping towards the halfway point here.
Yeah, we're getting there. 6-horse field yesterday.
Do you guys generally go with how many sets would you have in a training day down in Northfield?
5 to 7. It kind of depends on how fast we're going, or it really depends
Right.
a lot of times on how many Anthony wants to go with. If Anthony wants to go with 5 or 6, or if Anthony wants to go with 7 different horses, then we're going to 7 sets.
I see. And what about field size? Just depends on riders.
Yeah,
and
anywhere
availability?
from some days we'll go with 5, 6. The odd time we have 7. 7 gets a little, not chaotic, but it gets a little busy out there.
Right, and you can only have your eyes on so many of them.
Right, that's the thing. So, we try to keep it around 5 or 6 if we can, but, if we're busy or got to get things done a little earlier for whatever reason, or have 3-year-olds to train as well, then we'll make some bigger sets depending on the day.
Now, most of the 3-year-olds qualified and back going?
Yeah, pretty well. We've had, a couple stake winners early. Coupe de Ville, she was second in a Buckeye stake and then won a late closer series here the other night on Wednesday, the Iron Maiden final. She was first up and winning 56-1, raced great. Smoking Hot Irish Girl, she won a Buckeye at Miami Valley. Swinging Senorita, we touched on earlier. She won her elimination of the Hackett. She was third in the final and then second in the Sire Stakes the other night. So far, the One a Mission, he was second in Miami Valley too. Raced really well. So no, we're off and running now, and pretty much all the 3-year-olds are qualified and rolling.
Hopefully for a busy summer.
Yeah, not too busy, but busy enough. It does get busy down here when you start going to the fairs and stuff in Scioto. Scioto's racing a couple days in the afternoon this year. Last year was all afternoon. Oh, it's hard to believe it's only 2 hours south, but man, does it get hot. It gets so much warmer down by Scioto, it really does.
Set 3 here on the screen from Ontario yesterday. Punch the Clock. I know everyone, it seemed, was quite high on this filly.
Yeah, she's, it's been well documented. She had kind of a rough beginning to her training life. I think she lived in Guelph for a few weeks. With some colic, but she survived, and here she is. And I think since then, everybody's been pretty high on her.
She, of course, everyone always, like you said, they have something to King of the North, I believe.
Right. She's a tactical landing sister to King of the North, who it looked like he struggled at different times at 3 last year. He just couldn't kind of put everything together, and boy, did he put everything together come Breeders' Crown time.
Yeah, he was absolutely nasty.
Oh,
I think 150.
Yeah, like those mile and like leaving so hard from the rail, and the night I think he won the elim from the outside, and it just he was man. He loves Canada because I'll tell you what, he was bionic.
Yeah, that not a lot of people know the rail can be quite a tricky spot at Mohawk, and for a trotter to get out of there in 26, it's that's really something.
It can be. I mean, you know, we saw. Well, we talked about punch the clock. Was that hers? Maybe break?
Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
like just had a bad, maybe a
Hmm.
bit of a bad day yesterday.
The rail. I mean, even a veteran like White Tiger ran off the rail last Monday on James. The rail's not the best spot for a trotter, that's for sure. At Mohawk leaving. I mean, you can't get parked, but it can be tricky to get out of there. Definitely.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of finesse and timing and just it can be tricky to overcome.
Yeah. I think if you ask the guys there, the most popular spot's probably still what, the 5-6, 4-5-6.
Yeah, they tell me the 6 hole's been the leading post there for quite some time.
Wow. And you even see it now in the big races in the summer when guys get to pick their posts. Nobody takes the rail. Everybody starts at like kind of
No,
4,
no.
maybe 3. They tend to
I've
hang
seen
out
a
in
few
that
guys
area.
take 7 actually.
Oh wow.
So
I guess if
with
you're the best, if you think you're the best and you want everything to kind of settle and you can just keep kind of floating, then it's not a bad choice.
yeah, and staggered gait kind of puts you in that perfect spot.
Right. It does make a difference.
On the front here is don't talk about Bruno.
Don't talk
I
about Bruno.
believe this is a alarm detector colt.
Oh, okay. I think that's Johnny going with him up front.
Yeah, first crop I think,
Mm-hmm.
and ready for landing. Is that one you guys had down there?
Yeah, he was here, and Anthony wanted to take him home and kind of tinker with him a little bit. Fast colt, little stubborn. I think he's still a stud, but
What breed is he?
he's a tactical
Tactical?
landing.
Right.
Fast horse. He's got a lot of go, and I know he's been toying with him quite a bit.
Right. Once he seems to get the brain to body connection,
Right.
things might really turn on for him.
Yeah, he has a lot of talent if he gets everything figured out. I think that's Danny in fourth, maybe, with Great
Yeah,
Bet. He's the brother
Great
to
Bet.
Onavant.
Onavant.
Yeah,
Yes.
Danny swung him out
Second
there. He was
crop of
pacing.
all bets off, I think.
Right. They're still creeping around. I mean, he didn't, maybe light the world on fire, but there's a few of them doing some good stuff.
Yeah, I think Bob McIntosh has a couple that they're
Yep.
definitely more than good enough.
Yeah, he had a
I
nice
think
filly last year.
Yep, and the colt was pretty good too. The Moment horse.
Yep, yep. Yeah, he was another horse, just such a good horse. That horse raced a long time and kind of specialized on the smaller tracks, it seems. Son of Better's Delight. Just a very, very good horse.
Yeah, super consistent, right?
Right.
Making a big move here is Watch Your Mouth and Mario.
Watch
I think
Your
this
Mouth.
is half brother to Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. I think he was a bit of a stable mascot there for quite some time.
Okay. Yeah, I Watch Your Mouth. I was like, who the heck is this? Mario's going right up the inside there, yeah.
Punch the clock, made another miscue.
So she had a bad day, but I know James has been very high on her, and so is Anthony. So
Yeah, they're pretty careful with her, and when she does put it together, she's got that flashy gait. And,
yeah, she's a very good-looking filly when she's behaving. Definitely,
yeah.
I'm sure she'll be just
And like
fine.
we touched on before, she is a little bit behind these other horses, right?
Yeah, not only physically, like it's mentally. Like, they don't
Yep.
have. But again, a good-looking filly. So, bad day for her, but a good-looking set overall. A couple of them looked really nice. We are gonna throw it to Jamie McDonald. She has an interview downstairs, and we're gonna go there live now.
Welcome to the dining room here on our Mother's Day open house, and Pam Gillis McPherson joins us now. Pam has been involved with
We unmute
thestable.ca
Jason
with
and
you
they
and your
can hear
husband
Jamie.
Rick, or AKA Greg, as Anthony seems to call him. Tell us how you got involved with the stable.
Well, my husband always had a interest and always loved horses his whole life, and he had horses years ago. He owned several horses, but he just got back into it the last 5 years or so. And now we own a couple of horses, and my daughter and her husband's involved as well. And the horse name today is Royal Emerald, so we're really rooting for her for today.
And you had a bit of a trek here. I know you did come from Ontario, but before that, you guys actually live in Nova Scotia.
We live in Nova Scotia right now.
So the East Coast representing down here in Ohio.
Yay!
Thank you for joining us here on thestable.ca's open house.
Bye.
Set number 4. Yep.
Yep.
All right, moving on to set number 4, Jason. We've reached the halfway point. Any thoughts on how they're going today?
Pretty impressive so far. You know, the ones that are going really good. I kind of thought were to be expected. Pull the Shoes has been very good. Really don't care. Venice Blue Chip. You said we got a lot of nice horses down here. We really do. But you begin to see them separate a little bit. You do, and the ones who I thought would go really well have gone really well. So definitely not too many surprises. That's for sure.
Right, and maybe tip your hand on who's star of the show so far.
I mean, Venice Blue Chip got picked at the wire by Born to Dance, but she did all the work. She looked good. Pull the Shoes just looked really, really good there because I know what a nice filly Really Don't Care is, and she couldn't quite get to her. Pull the Shoes looked very, very good.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. Pull the Shoes, she looked like she really stretched her legs out on the front and was sitting on maybe quite a bit more.
Yeah, she looked pretty well in hand. The other filly looked great. She's a very nice filly, so it kind of gone as expected so far. Some pretty good looking sets.
And never good to beat the boss, is it?
No, but I'm sure if Amy could have got her up the inside a little quicker, she'd have took a run at her, definitely. But no, he has no problem beating up on us, so we if we get the opportunity, we'll mess around a little bit and we'll try to beat him.
Now, moving on to set number 4 here, we have Sunset Acres Girl. And tell me about the sire of this one. I don't know a whole lot about this one.
I don't think anybody does. She's Michigan bred. She's by Sunset Acres Banker. Never heard of them, but if you go back to like the third side, you do see Cadabra back there somewhere, and
Gotcha.
yeah, that's Balanced Image, Third Dam, an Amigo Hall mare, but yeah, the Michigan breeding program hopefully on the way back up for them there. So Anthony said there were some clients in Michigan in that, so he bought this filly. Actually, Lauren's father, Don Harmon, bought her at the sale, and I believe she was pretty moderately priced. I want to say like $6,000. That could sound right. And
so this is a Michigan bred?
She's Michigan bred, yep. She'll be heading to Northville, and I think they have fairs there. I'm not really sure, but yep. Sunset Acres Girl will see Michigan this summer. Touring.
And what's the reports on her so far?
She's been good. Daryl Rideout usually goes with her. I think he actually owns a piece. He goes with her. She's been good. You know, if anything, she's probably overachieved. Like you said, there's not a lot of pedigree there. She was a cheaper yearling. I think she's been a pleasant surprise so far, and everybody's been very happy with her.
And moving on, No Chance in Hill, a $10,000 What the Hill.
No Chance in Hill. He's a nice colt. He was training good early, and then we had to put the hobbles on him. Then he had some steering issues, so now he has hobbles and 2 head pulls. And the last few times he's trained, he's actually trained very well coming forward. He trained super last week. I went with him. I've been going with him probably the last month or so now, and he's really been coming forward. I've been pretty happy with him. He's a nice colt, and we'll look forward to racing him this summer.
And if there's ever a time of year to be training in the right direction, it's definitely right now.
Right. You love to see them getting better, you know, as you're training them instead of regressing and stuff. And you're like, oh, geez, it's only May. But this is a colt he's definitely moving forward.
Yeah, and you know, some of them are just naturals from the start, and they maybe fool you, get a little high on them early.
Yeah, that happens too. That that'll happen all the time. So she he's been a nice horse, and I look forward to him. He's a good-looking horse, strong. Seems to have a lot of go. So maybe we'll get a report from Lemsey here later and see what his take was.
All right. Moving on to Sweeney, Uncle Peter Colt, Ohio bred. How's he going?
He's going good. This is Anthony's baby. Anthony goes with this horse all the time. He loves him. He's been getting a lot better.
Okay.
He really likes this horse. He does. So I would expect to see him go a good trip here today. Another colt. He came in. He was a homebred, and we ended up with him. So, and he took a little bit of work when he came in late, and he took some work, and we castrated him and started getting him going, and he's going in the right direction.
And Kathy with an eye, the little sister, rings a bell.
Yeah, no,
I
that was
believe
another one.
Was she a stable horse?
Yes, she was. Yep.
Sweeney, and now we're on to Sedona Hill, 24,000. Also, What the Hill?
Sedona Hill, yeah, a What the Hill filly, and she's out of that Purple Sona family with
Right.
Purple People Eater, Purple Aura. So there's familiarity there. You go back, you see Marion Marauder again, stuff like that. A What the Hill filly. Anthony spent a little time with her on Wednesday and Thursday. She misbehaved on Wednesday for kind of no real reason. We blocked we froze a few splints on her, and we blocked a splint on her Thursday, and she trained better. He changed a lot of gear on her, and she trained good. So we'll see how Amy gets along with Sedona Hill here today. But she's been good all along, so I was a little surprised at her misbehaving the other day.
And just touching on, some of these horses, we see the same family. If, you have a bit of success with it, no point in changing it, is there?
Right. And the more horses you're around, and, even if I go to the yearling sale looking for a horse for myself, I know a lot of them now because we've had so many horses the last few years, and you're kind of like, oh, that one, yeah, I kind of like that family. Or sometimes it goes the other way, oh, I don't like that family. But,
Right.
Like, oh, geez, that's a brother to that one? No, I'm good. I think it helps. Getting to be around so many horses, then you definitely have some familiarity with them going to the sale.
Right, and sometimes, there's one that maybe trained down electric and didn't make it, but you know that he was in the family and maybe have an insight on the next one that comes along.
Right, no, sometimes a little bit of insider information, the horse won't show anything on the pedigree page, but it was a nice horse and maybe it got hurt or got sick or something happened, and you got a little bit of an inside scoop for sure.
On to ACS Swan, the second class included we've seen.
Yep, no, we're back into Illinois. This filly, she's been coming the last few weeks. We had to cryo a curb on her, and she missed a couple of weeks. Hopefully she's ready to roll here today. She trained the last 2 weeks, but she did miss a couple weeks, so she might just be a hair behind these guys. Jason goes with her a lot, so he's familiar with her, and she's a big, strong filly too, but she did miss a little bit of time recently when she had to cryo a curb.
Right, and this is the only one I see on my sheet with 21% available, so maybe one to keep an eye on today.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, for those in Illinois or want to participate in the Illinois program, then yeah, here's one available.
Next on the list, did not know, a $12,000 Always Be Mickey filly.
Yep, this is a filly, another one from Schaefer Farms. She was a Harrisburg baby, and we took some chips out of her, I believe her hocks. So she did miss a little time, and she's another one. She's training well, she's just behind. Similar but different to a punch the clock or something. She missed time for different reasons, obviously. She did miss some time, and she's been catching up and doing some good things, but she is just a hair behind some of these ones like a No Chance in Hill or a Sweeney or a Sedona Hill if she's on her game. She is just a little bit behind, but a nice little filly, easy to work around and doing good things, just has to play catch up.
Right, and anytime you get to Always Be Mickey for $12,000, that they're worth taking a shot on.
Exactly, she's second full. The first one was timed in 155. It was a Racing Hill, who I'm not fond of. So, you know, and I'll take an Always Be Mickey over a Racing Hill any day. So I think you'll see her pop up, you know, a little later on, a little behind everybody, but, you know, I think she'll be a decent little filly.
And a little pedigree back there with I see Treacherous Rain, who is a real good filly for Tony Alani, a mark of 48-3 and $3,000 short of $1,000,000.
Right, right. She, like I said, she's a little on the small side, and she did have those chips out, so she's, you know, she's missing a little time for sure.
And last on the list, third and six, a $36,000 colt from the first crop of Six Pack.
Right. This is another son of Six Pack. A little different. He actually kind of the exact opposite of Militant. He doesn't look like him. He's smaller and a different color. This is a horse we made a shoe and change on this week. I'd been going with him for quite a while, and he was kind of struggling, and we blistered him, and we did some splints on him. He got really good for a bit, and then he kind of tailed off. Anthony went with me the other day and suggested a shoe and change. They made it, so hopefully he you know, comes forward and goes a good trip here for Daryl today. I saw him earlier out there, and he was adjusting the hobbles. So.
Right, and you know, that's a talented move on its own in the race bike, and you're adjusting the hobbles.
I don't know how Anthony does it. I don't even try. I got short little arms, so I don't even bother.
And this one's got some pedigree to him too. Actually, I see Mara Beautiful Sin, a mark of 150-1.
Right. No, he's at different times he's kind of come forward this horse, and then, you know, he might struggle a little bit, but Anthony thought we kind of had hit the nail on the head the other day with the shoe and change, just to help him out a little bit in the turns. So, you know, touch wood, we got him going good.
Yeah, and lots of these young horses, there's all kinds of tinkering and trying to get the shoes just right, and seeing what fits the horse, right?
Right. We did. Anthony did something different this year too. We trained them down in the pacers and everything. We trained down the majority of them all with flip-flops on.
I've heard of a few people doing that. It seems like they're pretty popular with the young horses.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a racetrack, not at the farm, and, you know, bad weather in the winter and stuff, so a lot of the times they have this track sealed up. They have it pretty tight if there's snow or rain coming or something. So a lot of mornings we go to train, it can be a little hard. So we went with flip-flops all winter, and now we're just in the process of taking them off. A lot of them are still going in flip-flops, and we're starting to take the flip-flops off, a few of them, and just making little changes. This guy still had flip-flops on, so we changed them the other day after he trained Wednesday, so I'm kind of interested to see how he behaves here today.
And Six Pack, I believe he is New Jersey?
Six Pack is New Jersey, yes.
Right. Everyone's scoring down here. Looks like we're getting close to set number 4, getting ready to go.
Yeah, Sedona Hills, she had a bad couple days, and it was very very unusual. Anthony touched on a video about it the other day. This filly's been pretty good from the get-go, so very odd. Maybe, you know, we talked about before, they're babies. They have bad days. You know, you're not going to train a baby down all winter long, and they were perfect every time. It's practically impossible.
Right,
So,
pretty rare, right?
it's pretty rare. So, you know, they have bad days. Maybe she just had a bad day, because she is a very nice filly, and hopefully she goes good for Amy here. She looks okay right there. Looks like she's behaving, so hopefully we got everything touched up.
Yeah. Would you say What the Hill would be the leading gross of the baby sire this year? Seems like a lot of What the Hills and Father Patrick's.
Yeah, there's a lot of What the Hills for sure, which, I mean, Swingin' Senorita's a What the Hill, but prior to Swingin' Senorita, including some last year, and What a Mission's a What the Hill, he's turned into kind of a nice colt. We've had almost no luck with What the Hills, like none.
Right.
So Senorita was our first kind of What the Hill hit, and Anthony doubled down and bought a bunch more this year, and touch wood,
Well, you know,
they've been going okay. One of, I think, our nicest, he might be the nicest Ohio trotting colt, in my opinion, coming up in set 6 is Gypsy Hill, a colt who's been very good all along. Another one, he can win a set on the front, he can win a set first over, he can come from the back, he can kind of do whatever you want. I'm pretty interested to see him go on the bike here. He's a very, very nice colt, What the Hill.
right, and not enough you can say about being versatile when you're a young horse.
Right, that's the thing, and that's, you know, I keep talking about really don't care and stuff, and how handy she is, and what a nice filly she is, and how nice she is to drive. It just seems like when you're fighting with them all the time and stuff like that, it just, you wear them out, and if you have to race one-dimensionally, it's just too hard.
Yeah, you usually get away with it for a little bit of the season, and then come, August, September, they start deteriorating and getting tired, right?
Right. You just gotta. That's why, and like really don't care. Like she doesn't wear an ear hood. She doesn't wear plugs. She doesn't wear anything. She's just so easy on herself. But when you tell her to go, she goes. So I think that's part of what's going to make her such a nice filly.
Getting a look at Daryl in 3rd and 6.
Daryl in 3rd and 6. He's been a little bit of a mascot. He's been coming. Anthony was.
Out. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was going to say we didn't see him. So we have a late scratch in here. Sunset Acres girl is scratched. She has a temperature. That is unfortunate. We had about a sickness here about a week and a half ago. They didn't train for about 10 days, and we trained them all Wednesday, and we thought everybody was kind of over it and moving forward. Some of the racehorses raced flat, and I thought we were kind of over it, but we had a little temperature here today, so one less.
One thing with the young horses, it seems like if one of them get it, usually most of them get it.
That's the thing. Like we had a really good winter with sickness and stuff. We were pretty lucky, and everybody was pretty good. And then, bam, they all got it within, I'd say, 4 or 5 days. Try walking through the barn at night, and there's 40 horses coughing at you. It drives you crazy. It's nothing worse. We'd be racing, and all the babies are just coughing. It's like, oh my God. So we gave them a real easy couple weeks and didn't train. And Wednesday was the first time they trained in a week and a half, and it was a good day, but looks like we had a temperature creep back up. So similar to nothing but a dreamer last night, kind of nothing you can do. Unfortunate.
Yeah, but all you can say is it sucks, I guess, right?
That's it. It just doesn't work out perfect all the time. They're animals too, so to have 40 of them perfect and healthy today, well, I thought we were there, but we weren't.
Well, and these horses, they got to compete at such a high level, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to be healthy, and that's why Harry having to scratch that horse last night. Well, so be it. Because if you race him sick last night, you're probably not making the final, and 2, you're just going to do more damage. So we had the same thing last year. I had a filly who was a very good filly for us, Sweet on Pete, very nice horse, and we pulled her out one day, and I was heading to the stake race where I want to say she was like 5-2. And I pulled her out, and I said, "This filly's warm." I took her temp. She was like 102. I said, "Oh, okay." So you're not going to Scioto, you're scratched.
Back to your stall you go.
It's unfortunate, but what can you do?
Getting a look at Sweeney. One of Anthony's personal favorites, he said down there.
Yeah, he likes going with his horse. He goes with him an awful lot, so he'll be trying to make him look good today, I'm sure. And he's been going good. He really has. He's been training well, so.
No Chance in Hill.
Yeah, this is a nice colt. Looking forward to him too. He's been going pretty good. Anthony's turning near the head of the lane there. A little score down or what? No Chance in Hill and Lems.
Looks like a pretty big colt. Lots of legs to him.
Yeah, no, he's a big colt. Nice, nice big strong colt. So he was getting a little frustrated. He'd grab a line a little bit and make a break late. And we just kind of backed off a little bit and blistered his knees and stuff a couple times, and he's got better. We put the hobbles on him, and he'd always kind of grab the left line, and then one day I hit the first turn with him, and he turned his head and ran in and made a break. So he said, "Okay, well, you can just wear 2 head pulls now." So he's had the 2 head pulls on for several weeks now, and he's getting pretty used to them, so he's been good.
Yeah, and that can take a little bit getting used to for a young horse, but once they get onto it, usually not an issue.
Right. No, once they get used to it, it's not a big thing.
Getting a look at AC Swan. Indiana bred, correct?
Yes, in Illinois.
Or sorry, Illinois. Yep. Yes, sorry.
Illinois. Yep.
And what's the track they race out there in Illinois?
Hawthorne.
Springfield. Hawthorne. That's
Hawthorne. Right. I think they have little kind of fair meets with some stakes at, I think, the Coin still in Springfield.
Yeah, I think Anthony made a few tours out there last year, I believe.
Yeah, I think he made it to. I think he made. I don't know if he made Springfield or not. It was one or the other, maybe both. I spent a winter in Springfield working for Irv Miller. It was a little different experience, but
Uh-huh.
you don't get the kind of horses out there anymore, which is unfortunate because it's probably the fastest piece of dirt in the world. Cam Best had the world record there forever, time trial. That track is so fast, it's just ridiculous. Horses just get
Yeah, I
over it
think,
like nothing. So it was kind of fun to train down there.
There was a 24 and 4 quarter there, I believe, one day.
I think that was a 2-year-old too. I think that was Andy Miller with a 2-year-old Payson filly.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy Miller, that was ringing bells for me. I know that.
What was her name? Incredible something. I think she was an Incredible Finale
it
filly. Incredible
Tilly? Or no?
Incredible Tilly?
Nah. I don't know. Maybe Kirby can get on the horn there.
Maybe Kirby can find out. I want to say Incredible Tilly. I think I'm sticking with that. But that track is so fast. It was fun training the 3-year-olds there. Once or the 2-year-olds. Once you throw them in the bike over that track, wow, hang on.
Right. And while you were working there, there's some pretty special horses go through there.
Yeah, we had a lot of nice horses. I was there for the kind of Liz Mara, Shark Gesture, Western Shore days. I think Loyal Opposition had just kind of retired, but there was a lot of nice horses there. A lot of horses, period, but a lot of nice horses, and I had a lot of fun there. I had a good experience.
Now, we're talking about the tracks that I wonder what the count would be that Anthony's raced at last year.
Whew. Well, you got to include all the fairs. So once you include the fairs,
Right, yeah.
Man, ugh. I still to this day don't know what fair's what because they have a fair name and then they have like a town name, and they're different. So
Different.
like a lot of people call them different names. Like if the town's Guelph, it'll be called the something something fair, and I don't even know. I just type it in the GPS and go. I've been here 6 years and I still don't know what half the fair names are. I lose track.
Getting lined up here, set 4, field of 6.
Field of scratch down to a field of 6.
Looks like Daryl might bust out of there.
Yeah, a little surprised. Lem's pushing through with No Chance in Hill. He's been training good, this horse. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go a kind of decent mile here today.
Yeah, he certainly looked good scoring down.
Daryl had to retreat a little bit. Anthony pushed through with Sweeney. Sedona came away trotting. That's good. Anthony's going to move Sweeney right to the hammer. Lems is going to release with No Chance in Hill. Sedona Hill looks good.
Some of them, do you find they when they do make a miscue, if it's usually in the same spot, like what a sign of relief it is when you do get through that spot, you feel like you're good to go.
Yeah, you'll get the odd horse for sure. It'll kind of mess around a little bit. They'll get looking at the same place, and it turns into a habit, and that's the last thing you want is them breaking in a certain spot or looking at something in a certain spot. You don't want them to develop any bad habits. Sweeney coasting
Moving on to that. This is the half here.
Yep. No Chance in Hill. Amy's gapped a little bit with Sedona Hill. 3rd and 6. Plugging away. AC Swan. We did not know at the back. Everybody's behaving so far. Sweeney continuing to do the work
stretch
up
out
front.
a little here.
Yeah. Oh, Amy's moving.
Sedona, yep, Sedona's making a move.
This is a nice filly. It was really kind of an anomaly why she misbehaved the other day. It was very strange and definitely not like her. So, like I said, bad day. I don't know, but she looks like she's having a good day right now. That's for sure. Lems looks like he's got a lot of horse with No Chance in Hill. Oh, Luke made a mistake with did not know. Might have just been going a little much for her. Lem's got a little room, but it's Amy, and I'm giving it to Amy.
Amy in a photo, yeah.
I'm giving it to Amy.
It was close, but she looked pretty confident.
Yeah, Ty goes to the outside here at Northfield all the time.
Okay, so
I'm
if it's a
giving
close
it to
photo,
Amy
always look for the outside.
Yeah, definitely the outside. If you're on the inside, you have to win by half a length sometimes, I swear. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to Amy.
Yeah, I think Yonkers was like that for a while, where there were I don't know whether it was the angle of the camera, but little misconception sometimes.
Oh, it's always here. I don't know what it is, but it happens all the time. But either way, they both look great. No Chance and Hill was right there coming up the middle. Same thing. I think they stepped on the gas there, and the ones I touched on earlier, just a little bit behind. Did not know. 3rd and 6, he's been struggling a little bit, but he stayed at it. And AC Swan, who missed a little time for that curb to get crowd up, when they stepped on the gas, you could see they kind of trotted
Right.
away from those 3. But those 3 are still behind, so not a bad set overall. We have another
And on to our next prize winner.
Yep, go ahead.
Frank Reed taking home the next prize from the $25 account credit from thestable.ca. Congrats, Frank.
Jimmy Kirby just texted me. Incredible Tilly, 24 and 4, 53 and 2, 123 and 2, 51 and 4. Andy Miller for Irv Miller.
Ah, we were on to something.
we were on. I thought it was a Tilly, so yeah, 24 and 4 over Springfield as a 2-year-old. August 99.
Jesus.
I'm getting old.
That's certainly moving.
That track, and I'll tell you what, that track's not short because there's a hub rail.
Right. Yeah.
So that track has not
that's for
moved.
sure.
It's the material, and it's a funny track too, because when I first went there, they'd be like, okay, if it starts raining, like hard Midwest rain, get off the track and then
Right.
you exit. I'm like, what do you mean get off the track? Once it starts raining, like you can't even walk on the track.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's just like so slick and ridiculous. And if we get a hard rain, the track could be closed for several days. Like there's no, we might race tonight. No, there's no racing. There's no qualifying. There's no nothing. It's just the materials.
Pretty similar to DuQuoin.
Yeah, something very similar.
It was a fast track, I believe, right?
Yeah, very fast. It was just like it's kind of a dirt, but it was like a powder. And yeah, if they said if it starts raining hard, get off the track.
Good set there. Set 4. Looks like we got set 5 up on the screen here. There'll be a little delay here, switching bikes and getting
Yeah,
gear
that's
ready.
the thing, and it kind of, and I get it. It kind of stinks for people at home. You're running out of time. You'd sit and watch, but these guys have to pull the horses up, get back to the barn, unhook, hook back on another horse, set the hobbles if need be where you go, and it takes a few minutes. So we got a little bit of time. So to kill some time, we're going to send it down to Jamie McDonald with another interview.
Welcome back upstairs here in the grandstand, the dining room. How was breakfast this morning?
Great.
I'd say we're on mute again.
Gary
I
DeBoyer
assume so.
joins us now here. And you're actually not involved in the thestable.ca, but you came with a friend. So tell us your journey of getting out to the track today.
I've got a friend, Jim Hassel, that's been involved for a few years now, and he asked a bunch of us if we'd want to come out and watch horses he owns parts of to get a look. So here we are.
And you do have a background being involved in horse racing. Tell us how you were involved before.
Well, Jim and I had horses together for years that we both pretty much raised and raced, and then around the year 2000 there was just some health issues that kind of changed the whole project, and so I've kind of been out of it on the racing side since then. So still involved with maybe looking for horses for people, but that's pretty much all I do now.
And are you able to get out to the races very often and come watch the horses, or is that something you look forward to this summer?
Maybe more this summer. I haven't really been going as much as I used to. I have some good friends that are a driver that's out east that I watch a lot. Scott Zeron is just a good personal friend of mine. So that's kind of what I watch a lot of, but I do kind of watch what the stable's doing because of Jim's involvement. So
Thank you for joining us here on the thestable.ca's open house.
thank you.
All right, moving on to set 5, Jason.
I'm dead again, Kurt. Every time it goes to Jamie and then comes back. I don't know why. Now the thing's like gone altogether. Let's go to the text. I'm back. A little technical difficulty here at home base in Northfield Park, but we're back.
Yeah, then things happen.
Yep, yep. Quite a production done here by
overall-
Mr. McDonald. He's got a lot going on, and he does a heck of a job.
Oh, he's the master, that's for sure.
Oh, he does a great job.
Looks like the rain has held off for the most part. I maybe see a few drops coming, but not nothing
Yeah,
out of hand.
I didn't like it when I woke up this last night. It showed like a small chance around 7. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then later on, I was like, oh boy. I was like, I don't.
Now,
like
are you guys racing anything tonight?
We have a company horse in tonight. We're not racing anything here of the stable, but the big mare owned by Jason Merriman and Ryan Stahl, trained by me, Rockin' Furiosa, will race here from post 6.
Rockin' Furiosa. This is set where we get to see Militant again, right?
Militant's doing double duty here with the shoe back on. Lauren had to leave for the Meadows to drive, so Logan Ebersol will pick up the drive on Militant. Losing the shoe explains it, because I was pretty surprised to see this horse make a break. He's been pretty steady, so it was definitely a shock. Lost the shoe, well, that explains it. So
And
this
what
set,
breed is he again?
Militant is the 6-pack.
6-pack. Maybe getting into the other ones here a little bit, Jason.
Yeah.
Activation.
Activation.
$27,000 Father Patrick.
Yeah, we're back onto the Father Patricks for sure. Activation, nice colt. Been training good. We opened him up, and then we had to put the blinkers back on him to get him to focus a little more. He was looking around a little too much without being, with a plane open. He kind of wasn't doing his job. So has a set of blinkers on, but he's been very good the last couple weeks.
And this is one of the hotter families in harness racing right now. You look into the second dam, you get Swan Hot Mama, who's the dam of Alter, who's a very fast horse.
Yes.
And I believe might have been the Sail Topper 2 years ago. Exile, 800,000.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a decent family. He's a nice colt. He's been training well, doing everything right. So I expect him to go out and put on a pretty good performance for catch driver Chris Lems.
Do his work today and hope for the best. Mel Gibbs Swan. Any thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, he's been coming along pretty good. Big colt, kind of has to grow into his body a little bit. He's a swan for all. We get back into that family. There we go. Twin Bee Alibi, Tipsy and Dixie, tie one on, tailgate buzz. So he's got a little pedigree there that we're familiar with. Nice colt, kind of does everything right. I'd like to see him put a little, not weight, but almost muscle. Like he's got to kind of fill into himself a little bit, but he's been looking good, and guys have been doing a good job with him.
And Swan for all, the sire of, I believe, Horse of the Year a couple times, Hannelore Hanover.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been dynamic out there in Indiana. He's been leading sire now for probably several years, so been very good.
Yeah, I see beside his name it says 2006, so he's been at it for a long time.
For sure.
On to Gypsy Hill, and before we get started on him, I see a name a lot of people from the stable might notice, Renegade Gypsy.
Yes. Yeah, you know, second dam, Renegade GFC qualified good again yesterday. Just been a nice horse. You know, 136,000. Mark of 53 as a 3-year-old. Timed in 52. Just been a very, very nice horse for Mario in the stable. And you go down to the third dam. We're going back a ways now, but CRK Susie, 1.6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was okay.
Dover Dan too.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a second foal out of a Chapter 7 mare. This is probably my pick for Ohio trotting colt right now. I go with him a lot. I try to jog him every day. I really like this horse. He's got a tremendous attitude, does everything really well, and I really like this colt. He does, you know, he's very smart, trots great. Yeah, there's equipment-wise, there's nothing special to him. I mean, he wears knee boots and trotting boots, and that's about it. We do have a hood on him, which he kind of doesn't really need, but he did get a little hot for a bit, so we put it back on. But he's a very nice colt. He's won a lot of sets and done things very good, and I'm excited to race him this summer.
Right, and tip in your hand, he may be the leading candidate for the next generation.
I would say right now, in my opinion anyway, he would be my pick for the next generation. So, you know, the next
Right.
few weeks
A
will
lot
tell.
can change from now to then, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Anthony always talks about Sweeney, and he looked pretty good right there. And there, you know, there's some
Right,
others,
right.
but I really like this colt. I think he could be. He reminds me of a lot of horse we had a couple of years ago and had some luck with, Slim Jimmy. He reminds
Right.
me of him a little bit. He's just he's a fast horse. He really is.
Yeah, good working man horse.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to the next one. How do you say that one?
Cheryl Holla.
Cheryl Halla.
Cheryl Holla,
Another
yeah.
What the Hill.
Yep, she was I think she was, Anthony said she was our most expensive Ohio bred. She's been doing good things the last little bit. She's another one, kind of classically, she has to grow into her body. She's big, tall, lanky. She needs some muscle. You know, we've been trying to, you know, feed her and stuff as much as we can, trying to get her to put the bulk on. She's another one, I think later in the year you might see her best. I don't think she'll be at her best in, say, July when the next generation goes. Maybe around August, September or something, you might see her kind of peak. Good attitude, does everything well, just has to grow into herself, literally. She's a big, lanky filly and just has to get a little bigger, muscle-wise.
Right, and $57,000 yearling. See in the second dam, hold on tight to your dreams. I'm not sure if he did a whole lot of stake races, but he, you know, when you put away $563,000 work, you know, grinding it out at 43 wins, it's a lot of class there.
Yeah, as much as anything, the 43 wins is impressive. I mean, it's so hard to win races. Like, to win 43 races, that takes a nice horse.
Yep,
So
not a lot more impressive than a horse that knows how to win.
that's what I love. You know, a horse that knows how to win, and you know, come crunch time, they can stick their neck out and win the race. So there's definitely some pedigree here. I like this filly. I just think we're going to see the best version of her probably later on.
All right. And another green shoe, Green Tea, $35,000 purchase. Pretty well bred. How's this one going?
He's one. He wears the brain cord and stuff, and I know Anthony likes going with him. He can be a little stubborn. Very fast horse. You'll see him sometimes. He'll be rolling right along, and then he gets shaking his head a little bit and playing around. When he finally puts everything together, I think he could be a very, very nice horse. Kind of maybe even a serious horse. He's got a lot of speed, and when he kind of focuses and everything goes smooth, he's a fast horse.
And half brother to I believe the Simon has a 55 2-year-old speed, so a lot to look forward to for this one for a 2-year-old career.
Right, and you know, you'll see him go here when he's paying attention and stuff, and I hope Anthony gets him off kind of on the right foot. And when he's paying attention and doing his work, he looks the part. He looks like a really nice horse, and hopefully he goes well here today.
This guy a colt or a gelding?
He's a colt still.
Colt still. All right. And on to Antilles Hanover, $13,000 international money colt.
Antilles, yeah, an international money colt. Luke's going with him today. Kind of I guess you'd call him kind of a meat and potatoes horse. He's never super flashy, but he does his work. He interferes a little bit, but he just keeps going forward all the time. It always seems like he's trying, he's digging, he's pushing forward to do everything he can to kind of get there. you got to like him. You just feel him. You can tell he's trying to do everything he can. Great attitude, and I'm hoping he turns into a nice racehorse.
And maybe deja vu from the Austral Hanover. It sounds like you're explaining Austral from last year.
A little bit maybe. He's not. This horse isn't flashy. He's not going to sit last and blow by everybody, or roll on the front and have one of the better ones and kind of fight them off. But he, as Anthony likes to say, he does his work.
Right, and we know he likes that.
He's a lunch pail horse, this horse. He just, okay, let's go to work. And he does what he can. And, there's a lot to like about him. There really is.
Half sibling to Anoka Hanover, who put away almost 800,000. She got on a real heater at the end of her 2-year-old year. I think she ended off with the Goldsmith Maid win.
Yeah, no, very nice filly. 11 wins, Donato Hanover, who we've had a bunch of them. And there's a little bit of pedigree there, and the international monies we've had some luck with. He's a nice horse, he is.
All right, that's the field of 7 here. Looks like they're scoring them down.
Yeah, everybody's getting a little feel, and it's different too. So I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. Not that a lot of them have been making breaks or anything like that, but we kind of know where all the hobbles go to the jogger. Now we're going to the race bike for the first time.
Yes, that is.
So a lot of them, they just keep the
important time of
snaps. A lot of them just keep snaps on the end of the hobbles, and we click them on the little centerpiece on the Pensbury joggers, and away we go. And now we're going in the bike. So some of them, you'll hook them up in the bike, think you look good, get out here in the track, and it's like, geez, they're too loose or they're too tight. So it takes a little. It takes a little bit to kind of, work the kinks out. So.
Yeah, and where to hook them and where the hobbles go.
Exactly. Where do we, we want to put them somewhere they don't hit the bike or something. And everybody back in the barn's doing we got a big staff back there. I'm over here talking, and everybody back there does a really good job, and it's quite an operation. We had, I think, almost 65 horses at different points this winter. Got a little overwhelming at times.
Yeah, no, a day like today, it doesn't happen without them. That's for sure.
That's
and,
right.
They're probably the stars of the show today.
Yeah, everybody puts on a great job, and I touched on Jason earlier, and without I'm down as trainer, and I'm the technical captain of the ship, so to speak, down here. But without Jason and different people, and somebody like Lauren, who plays a big role. She does a lot of the stuff like order and feed and stuff like that. So that way I don't have to do that. I can focus on something else. She picks up a lot of the slack. She does payroll. She orders the feed. Just little things like that. It makes my job a heck of a lot easier. I can focus on other things.
Yeah, and the grooms too. I'm sure a lot of them had to get there early, long before we come on camera. Get their stalls done, get everyone rigged up, and when we end on camera, their day's not done either. They got a long day putting away these guys.
They got to put all their horses away and stuff, and everybody does a good job. And the two girls over to my side, my shed row, they haven't had one, I don't think, train yet. I think Cherahole and Gypsy are the first two, and then we have 4 in the last set. So, the race secretary wasn't very nice to them today. But the girls have probably been bored back there. But
yeah, days like today, though, when you get to see your kids get to the winner's circle, it makes it all worth it.
Well, this is just a preview of you work all winter, it's cold, it's wet, it's whatever, it's snowing, but to me, it's kind of qualifying days. And this is a little preview, of a qualifying day, that's going to happen in 3 or 4 weeks here. Qualifying days are really, they're exciting for me, because it's like, okay, we're there. Like, this is, I get to see a Really Don't Care, or a Gypsy Hill, or a Pull the Shoes, or whoever, horses that you've been high on all winter. And then, of course, like you touched on earlier, there's always surprises. Horses you're like, geez, where'd that come from? Like, stuff like that. So qualifying days, despite the busyness and the stress, they're fun for me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you get to see your hard work pay off, and hopefully for the better good usually.
Yeah, definitely.
Just walking, getting ready to rumble here. Look at Chirohala.
Yep, there's Darryl and Chirohala.
Oh, we got Drizzle on the on the TV
Uh-oh,
there now.
little drizzle, yep.
Activation. Where would this guy rank in the pack?
I'd say Activation's up there. He's shown a lot of talent different times. We've messed with his bridle a little bit, like I touched on, but he's got some go.
The PA, I believe, right? Father Patrick.
Right. Yep.
A little nicer now. Muscle Hill's back in Jersey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, PA is still very tough. It's a deep pool over there. It's tough.
Yeah. They don't give too much away there.
Right. It's pretty snug. PA's tough, and last year we've always done okay there. Like whether it be if you want to go back in time, like a White Tiger or a Lawmaker and stuff like that, we've always done okay. And I think last year was our first kind of really good year there. It was a big
four
year.
Colts were they were real good, right?
Right. They packed quite a punch, those horses.
Any idea what Crantini's next engagement is?
I don't. It might be another overnight.
Yeah, their stakes got to get underway here soon, I would think.
Yeah, I think they get rolling here shortly. Giving a little score here. I don't know what we're kind of waiting on, but Anthony Militant. There's Daryl and Chris.
Green tea. Little finicky with his head, green tea.
Beginning to rain. Yep, there's Green Tea. And there's the head and goofing around. He's got the brain cord on, so hopefully it's good and snug and does the job for him here today. But
Right. Looks like no check either. Is he got? Yeah, he's got one on.
yeah, I think he's got a check on. He's
Pretty loose.
He's usually better when he gets going, but this horse, you'll see him when he gets going. He's got a really good way of going, and I hope he behaves here today.
Yeah, going back to the sire, he was a bit of a character himself, but certainly very fast.
This is like glimpses of him, Brian scoring him down in the Hamiltonian before the final, running all over the track. Like I think arguably the fastest trotter of all time, but he never really was in a position to do it because he'd either win the race handily or misbehave. But as far as talent goes, just scary horse.
Flat out speed, right?
Oh, just unbelievable.
Hopefully he carries that on to his prodigy and see what they can do this summer.
Yeah, no, he was an exceptional horse. Just kind of a freak. But you had to watch him all the time. It worked out for Determination and Bobby McClure winning the Hambo, but
Yeah, that was quite a day.
It cost him at different times in his career. Cost him good chunks of money.
All right, getting underway here. Big field of 7.
Yeah. With the addition of Militant here, Logan. Looks like everybody's behaving, getting out of there.
Yeah.
And Daryl put the big Cherahola right on the front.
Activation, the 2-hole. Looks like we got 2 number 5s there. Mel Gibbswan to the front. Pretty good looking brush there.
Yeah, no, this colt's been, he's been doing okay. He kind of fills into himself and figures out what everything's all about. He could be a very nice horse there.
Green tea on the move from the back end.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think Militant still has his original saddle pad on. That's why he's number 5. He's in the yellow bike. And just as I spoke about earlier, there's Green Tea, and he clears to the front, and then he shakes his head.
Yeah. What a turn of foot though.
He's fast, boy. He can go fast. If he just learned to behave himself the entire time, he'd be in pretty good shape because he is a fast horse. Lem's moving activation now. Cheryl Hollow kind of got shuffled back a little bit. Looked like Anthony tapped the brakes a little bit here.
Oh yeah, they're bunching up a little bit.
It's not usually his MO. Trying to steal one. Made Lem's move. Amy's out in the middle of the track with Gypsy Hill. Mel Gibbswan back to the inside. Mel's keeping right up there. Luke's moving Antilles Hanover 3 deep. Antilles, oh, as soon as I said that, he threw in a step, and he come back up, and he threw in another step. Oh, dear. And this is the Green Tea Show. Activation closed up good. Mel Gibbswan was real good. Gypsy Hill was there. And so was Jason with Mel Gibbswan. Militant did his work well. The only little mistake was the last turn from Antilles Hanover. Little mistake from Antilles.
Big effort from Green Tea, it looked like.
He's fast.
Looked pretty comfortable and wrapped up there.
Yep. No, he's. You just see him though. When he made that move, he was fine. And then as soon as Anthony crossed him over to the front, then he shook his head. Like when he's dialed in and focused, he's a very, very fast horse.
Hopefully, when you start going these faster miles with these horses, they learn to settle and go.
And that's the thing I do like about him, though, is when Anthony really mushed him up to the front, he was perfect. At the back, he was kind of bouncing around, and then when he cleared him in the front, he was bouncing. But then down the lane and stuff, he was, dialed in.
Any idea on what kind of speed they're going today?
I think I've had different reports. I'm getting 2.7, 2.8, 2.9ish kind of kind of vibe. So, and I mean, like I said, we've been coming decent halves in the joggers, going 1.5 miles. So you throw them in the bike and just go a mile, and they're ready to roll. We do have another prize winner. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the last one or second last one. Regardless, Matthew Kuva. And picking up the $50 account credit from thestable.ca. Congrats, Matt. Five down, 1 to go, Jason.
Last one, yep. This is it.
Pretty good day in general so far.
Yeah, overall it's been a very good day. Like it's a lot. This is the first time these horses have gone 2 trips because we trained them 1.5 miles. So they're going in and out twice, and first time in the bike, and different drivers on a lot of them. Not that these guys aren't very capable drivers, but it's just a little different sometimes. You get to know the horse's tendencies and stuff like that. So. But no,
yeah, some of them got quirks and
Yeah, you get to know them a little bit and stuff like that. So, yeah, 1 down.
Is this the one your horse is in?
Yes, company horse.
Which one? Nicola Hanover.
Nicola Hanover, 2-hole, drew good. No, she's been. I've been very happy with her so far. I picked her out of Harrisburg and bought her for a fraction of what I thought I was going to have to pay, because I kind of targeted the 6-packs and stuff because they didn't sell great in Lexington.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a bargain.
So I went there and looked at her like 3 times, and she was one of my top picks. I passed on a couple horses earlier waiting for her, and she came up, and yeah, I got her kind of shockingly cheap in that I looked at my friend Frances Dumichel standing right beside me, and I was like, what did we miss? So we ran back and looked at her again, and I still haven't seen it. So I don't think.
I was going to ask you if Francis was in on this one.
No, well, Francis, well, we said we were going to trade 5% with one of his colts that Francis bought a betting line colt on purpose at Harrisburg. So
I remember hearing a bit of thinking there's a bit of a story to one of those horses.
Yeah, so it happens every sale. Somebody
Sometimes
buys
they
the
end
wrong
up being
horse.
your best ones,
Yeah,
one of your
whatever.
better ones, though.
He's training good. He's happy with him. We played golf the other day. He was telling me about him. So, yeah, I was standing there with Frances, and I looked at her this filly a couple times, and I said, geez, I like this filly. And then she went through, and yeah, I got her for $8,000, so I was pretty shocked. Now you
Hard
look
to go wrong there.
I mean, I think so, but so you look at the first dam, the mare's 0 for 3. The first one was an EL Titan gelding, who was a $67,000 yearling purchase. Irv Miller bought it, and it got hurt on Irv. So,
Okay.
you know, I got a little okay. You know, it was okay, I think, and got hurt. And then the next two were Sebastian K's, which I pitched. That's about as nice as I can say about the Sebastian K's. I don't like them whatsoever.
Right.
So I pitched both of the Sebastian K's, and I said, well, here we are. This is your second full. 6-pack. And you go down to the second dam, there's Naysay Hanover with almost 1.3 million made.
Yeah, he was, I believe Tron Smedeshammer had him.
So, you know, you get, and there's, you know, the next one, Navarro and Hanover, 200,000. So, I mean, for what I paid for her, I don't really see how I can go wrong. She's training well. I've been very happy with her. So, we'll see how she does here today for Luke.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
First on the radar there, though, is the Tactical Landing filly, Lover's Play.
Lover's Play. This is a filly, Anthony. This is one of Anthony's. You know, he's been going with a lot, spends a lot of time with her, and she's really been coming forward. She's been training well. She can be a little hard on herself sometimes, you know, a little silly getting out the door and stuff, but she's been going well. And the last few weeks, she's actually been very, very good. So I'd be a little surprised if she wasn't good here today.
And drew the rail.
Yeah, drew the rail. Race secretary gave himself the rail in the last set, so that was good of him. She's a nice filly.
On to Prince Charmer. I think the lone Long Tom.
This is it for the Long Toms, yeah. A big colt. He's missed a little time here. He's missed a little time there. His knee blew up way back in the winter, and we had to give him a little time. Then we cryoed a splint or a curb on him, pardon me, and he missed a little bit of time. He's back going now. Anthony trained him on Wednesday, and he trained good. He was very happy with him. We made a couple little changes. And so he trained good on Wednesday, so I'm expecting him to behave good for Chris Lems here. So we'll touch on the other guys in a minute when we come back. Right now we have Jamie back downstairs with someone, and then when we come back, we'll finish up with set 6.
Jared Holder joins us now. Jared, tell us how you and your dad got involved with thestable.ca.
So we actually started back, my father's been with racing since he was 15, and we were looking for something to do during COVID, and he likes to watch YouTube and found the stable, and so we started with one of the buckets back in 2020. So we've been doing is, it's turned into a bonding thing for both of us, and we're really enjoying it. It's getting us excited, and I get to do something my father loves, so I'm really excited about that.
And you come out and watch the races?
Yes, we do. We usually come to the Battle of Lake Erie and all this the big races here in Northfield.
Now you're kind of naming off some names. Your next horse is in the last set coming up here, but can you name us some of the ones that you're a part of?
Yes, so we have O Snap U in set 6. We also have some Ontario horses, Carter Michael Dio, Bruno, and Stay Close. So very happy about this.
And what's your favorite part so far about the open house today?
Just getting to see all these wonderful, smiling, happy faces, and getting to enjoy father-son time.
Well, I'm so glad you're here with your dad and get to enjoy this experience kind of in the dining room over and watch them as they train and go.
Yes, it has been really, really fun. And shout out to Northfield for throwing out such a great open house as well.
Thank you for joining us here, Jared, and good luck this year with your horses.
Thank you so much.
I hear you, Curtis.
I think we're just finishing touching on Prince Charmer, Jason.
Yeah, Prince Charmer, he, you know, been an okay colt, and the other day he trained very good for Anthony. He said we just added some toe weights to him to help him out a little bit, and Anthony was quite happy with him on Wednesday. So I'm thinking Lems will get along just fine with him here today.
Now, would this set of 6, would they all be kind of on the same page or same time frame on to get there?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I might be a little biased because I go with him a lot, but I think there's one in here that kind of stands above. You know, not downplaying the others, but I think Pickpocket is arguably our best horse.
All right, we'll get to him in a moment.
Yeah, we'll get to him. We'll touch base on him. We'll talk about Jason's drive, Royal Emeralds.
Another green shoe.
Green shoe filly, another one, a little goofy with her head, messes around a little bit, but when she's going in focus, she's a very nice filly. Jason goes with her a lot. He does a very good job with her, and he's gone with her most of the time, if anything. I went with her a few times and didn't get along with her whatsoever. So that's the great thing about having people like Jason and that here. Like, I went with her, I think, 2 or 3 times, and I just didn't get along with her. So I said, put somebody else on her, fine. And so
getting away from the Cantab Hall line, maybe green shoe would be the right fit for this one.
yeah, you know, you know, we're trying something different here. Obviously, the Cantab didn't really, you know, didn't work a little bit.
Father Patrick was a Cantab.
That's right. So you know, maybe
a little later down the line, maybe.
Maybe we're onto something here. This is a nice filly. She is.
Royalty for life in the second dam. Hambletonian winner.
Right. There's some pedigree there for sure.
The next one, Pickpocket. He's all yours.
Pickpocket. Yeah, he's. I mean, Walner. We touched on Walners earlier. They've just been so impressive. This colt, he's very fast. If I describe him in one word, it would be powerful. He's a big, strong horse. He has a lot of go. We put a hood on him a couple weeks ago. He was almost getting a little too racy, not too bad. So we just popped the hood on him, and he's a very, very nice horse. We trained him a few weeks ago going 1.5 miles, and I got interfered with and still came a very, very good last half. Yeah, I think this could be, you know, I think this could be our best horse here.
Right, and $47,000 purchase. Not much to complain about the second dam.
Yeah, I mean, you get down to that second dam, you know, money maker, international money. Can't have my money. He has a great family. He's got the Walner, that now 3 in racing, the Great Wall. The mare herself can't have my money. She made $145,000. You know, he may be undersold a little bit because there's not a great first dam, but then you get into the second dam and it's obviously pretty stacked. This colt is big and strong. He does everything right. Trot's great, no hobbles or anything. He's a very nice horse. I think this could be one of our best horses, and I'm looking forward to seeing him qualify and head down to Oak Grove is the plan, I believe.
All right, yeah, live drive for Daryl Thiessen.
Yeah, Daryl picked up a live one for sure. This one will hopefully make his trip.
And last but not least, Oh Snap You.
Oh Snap You.
Creatine filly.
Creatine filly, she's a nice filly. We had to add an ear hood to her. We've had it on and off different kind of times. She'd tend to, when we go our slower laps, she'd tend to goof around a little bit and not pay attention. So we put the hood back on her. I don't think she'll need it here in the bike, but I think the girls left it on her. Nice filly though. She does a lot of good things. Creatine, first foal out of a Muscle Hill mare. Second dam, not like a ton, but you get down to the third dam and there's a $300,000 winner, $200,000 winner, some decent family. This is a nice filly too. I like her.
And how many creatines would you say you guys have been through down there?
Not that many. We've had a couple. Purple Aura was a creatine, obviously, and I think this is the only creatine this year. Creatine, I think he had some fertility issues, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't think there's a ton of them out there. Obviously, the best one being Jujubee a couple years ago, who was a great 3-year-old and had some issues coming back at 4, but he made it to the races. I would say, I'd say we haven't had that many, but the ones we've had, you know, we kind of liked.
Yeah, he was a bit of a world traveler himself, I think. He started out here and then off to Europe and come back and win a Breeders' Crown, I believe.
Right. Yeah. No. You know, very nice horse. He's been a good horse, and I think for his limited number, he's been a very successful sire.
And just coming on the track here, Lover's Play, getting our first look at her.
Yep. There's Lover's Play. Looks nice and relaxed out there. Good.
That's the one you said could get a little spicy.
She can not horrible like you know, kind of like the other horse, the green tea horse a little bit, but she can get a little fired up. So she looks good there today.
Looks like the weather is going to hold off for the most part without getting too soggy.
Yeah, no, like I said, when I saw it this morning, I was like, oh boy. And so I think this is about as good as we were going to get,
Best case scenario.
pretty much. Yeah, this is a nice filly. She's got big long legs. She gets her head down going. She's a nice horse. I think she'll train well here today.
And she's in New Jersey, tactical landing, I believe.
Yes. There's Amy and Oh Snap You.
Looks pretty relaxed out there.
Yeah,
She
she's not
generally
bad.
like that?
She doesn't get like really hot, but she's almost a little nervous. So she got in this little habit going her slow lap. She'd kind of get bouncing around and not paying attention and maybe roll off, but then she'd land and train super. So we just put the hood on just to kind of chill her out, and not hot per se, just kind of nervous and a little worrisome. But Amy's gone with her almost every time she's been down here, so she's got a feel for her, and I think she'll be good.
Getting a look at Prince Charmer.
There's Charmer, Chris Lems. He's a big horse. He's a likable horse, you know.
Yeah, he does.
He's
Long legs.
He's a big boy though. He definitely is.
Not many long toms. Have you guys gone through? Slim Jimmy comes to mind. And
Yeah, Slim Jimmy. We've had a couple. A couple of them kind of no luck. We had Off Tom, who was a decent 2-year-old for us, and then didn't come back good at 3. And we had a very nice colt a couple of years ago who unfortunately got injured. Prairie Fire. Prairie Fire got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
He actually got
Yeah.
hurt twice because we gave him a bunch of time and brought him back. But he was a really nice horse, and unfortunately it just didn't work out. But he had a lot of talent. But those things happen sometimes, and he got hurt, so that was it. There's Jason and his girl Royal Emeralds. Waiting on Pickpocket, Daryl, and Nicola Hanover, and Luke.
Yeah, too excited to get a look at.
Yeah, I'm biased. I want to see Nicola Hanover go well, but I'm as excited to see Pickpocket go for Daryl as I am my
Right.
own horse. And I probably won't even get to race Pickpocket, but just being around him all the time and I usually go with him training, and it's a lot of fun. He's a very nice horse. Emeralds is behaving good too. Like I said, she can get a little fired up sometimes, but she looks very good right there. Almost looks like the sun's out now.
I did see one guy go by with no sleeves on.
Oh yeah. There's my man Luke and Nicola Hanover.
Nicola, Philly.
Only half a saddle pad on, so that's cool. Looks like we're missing the button on the right. Luke noticed, look at that.
Now, how far is your guys' barn from the track?
You can kind of see it on that one picture. We're down a little ways, kind of behind the old pool barn area.
Right.
You can almost see it in the background a little bit behind all those trucks and trailers. It's a little bit of a hike to the paddock, but it's not bad. I almost like it that way, so you're not super close to the paddock. So even when we're not racing, the horses can relax a little bit. and no, it's kind of a good location. It's one of the better barns here too, I think.
Charmer going for the little tour.
Yeah, Lem's feeling him out a little bit. This horse actually trained all winter with no head check, and then he made a break one day, and Anthony was mad at him, so he said, okay, just put your head check back on. So we did.
Put the check back on. And they race tonight, right? 15 races?
Yep, 15 dashes. I think we're in the
Northfield.
6th, so that's not too bad, especially for here.
And is there a time you guys got to be off the track?
It's usually, on race days, it's usually 1 o'clock, which I think we're going to sneak
Right.
under there anyway. It's 12:55, so that's good. But
Right.
it's generally
Yeah, we
1
got through them
o'clock.
really good today.
Yeah, not bad considering, I mean, we basically started at 10:30, really. So,
Right, right.
I said it's tough to, when, like I said, kind of credit to everybody back there, the grooms for having them ready, and then the riders who you don't see on the track, getting them out and getting them warmed up. Not only do we have this many to train, they all had to warm up too. So, a very busy morning back there for everybody.
Today was the day 1 of 2 trips, you said?
Yep, first time. So, first time 2 trips. So yeah, it's it's a lot to take in.
Can be hectic for everyone, right?
Yeah, it just throws an extra little. And
No shipping though today though.
no shit. Hey, that's one thing I do not miss. I mean, Mohawk's not far away, but when you start lugging 30 or 40 babies over, wow, it's a lot of work.
That's a job in itself.
And that, we're lucky in that regard. We got with the qualifiers here and stuff. It's of enough of a job getting them ready and getting them warmed up properly and making sure all the equipment's good. And at least we don't have to worry about the shipping. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Right. And lots of times here, like the barns, when people go to qualifiers, you're losing a helper in the barn that day.
Yeah, exactly. It's, people, somebody's got to ship or somebody's got to warm up and somebody's got to do this. And luckily here, everybody can pitch in. Now it makes our job easier, that's for sure. Being here at the track, it's worked out well for us. We're in a good barn here, and like I said before, I think the horses benefit. When it comes time to race, they might not be the fastest horse out there, but they know how to race. There's no question about that.
Yeah. There's not many surprises.
No, they're used to everything. Like they redid all the lights here and everything, and the tote board this year, and and we kept training through it all. They'd be out there with moving lights around and stuff, and we just kept training, and no, it didn't bother them at all.
Getting ready to go here. Looks like we're on track.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting ready to rock. There's Amy, Snap You, all 6 of them.
Not many pacers down there this year.
We didn't have a lot of pacers, so that's generally the case. I think there's more pacers in Ontario for sure. We have a couple. The pacers are very similar to Ontario. It's tough, tough. Like you got to be able to go. Oh snap! You misbehaving back there.
Yeah, the pacers up here, especially the top tier, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah, you got to be. They go so fast. They go so fast everywhere nowadays, it seems, but they really go fast there. Daryl's just going to float the big colt out of there. Yep. Oh. Emerald's getting a little bumpy. Jason's going to press on with Royal Emeralds. Pickpocketing the 2-0. Anthony's going to move Lover's Play to the front. These guys are running Daryl around here with this filly. With this colt, sorry. My filly's gapped a little bit.
Getting the dust settled.
4th. Yeah. The Lems and Charmer back in 5th. And Snap You had some issues for Amy. Oh, she ended up, looks like she just didn't ever settle.
Lover's Play, a bit of a flashy gait here on the front.
Yeah, she's a good-looking filly. There's Daryl moving this colt to the front.
Yeah, does this guy ever look strong on the front? Like you said, very powerful.
Yeah, I left the Murphy on the outside of my filly, and she's running in pretty good. I should have took it off. Prince Charmer rolled off. My filly stumbled and made a break. Oh, super. Well, this colt up on the front, he's looking pretty solid here. Lover's Play staying right with him, and so is Royal Emeralds.
Darrell looks like he's hanging into him pretty good still.
Yeah, he gets a little green in this last turn. That's why he's got the Murphy on the outside, and you almost got to talk to him. And as soon as you start talking to him, it's game on. Anthony lost Lover's Play. This guy's, Darrell's just buggy riding this guy here. Jason's going to chase him a little bit, but Pickpocket looked very sharp.
A few misbehaviors there, but
Yeah, a little,
nonetheless.
yeah, kind of a, odd set. Charmer, I watched my filly. I was watching her. She stumbled. Luke lost her.
Right.
But Amy's filly was misbehaving, and yeah, that was odd. But Pickpocket.
Yeah, she looked like she kind of wanted to kick there leaving.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Sometimes the bike might pinch them too if you got them in a weird spot. First time race bike.
Right.
She might have wanted to think about showing Amy her hind feet.
What kind of shoes she was wearing?
Yeah, exactly. Still got the camera on Pickpocket. Wears bell boots, trotting boots, and Murphy outside. That's it. He's pretty simple to.
Bit of a natural from day one too.
Yeah, he's a nice horse.
Right. And colt or gelding?
Still a colt.
Very curious guy. Still see his ears moving back and forth, and not real exerted, I don't think.
No, that's the thing about this guy too. Like we went the 1.5 miles the one day, and we were flying. And past the wire, I came a very, very good last half on my third half, and then past the wire, I went all the way up in the far turn again. No, good looking horse for sure. We timed this just about right, Curtis. I got 5% battery left. Good job. Well, I got the little thing so I can talk to Jimmy in my phone, so. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what he said about that filly. She looked very good, and towards the end of the day too, the track tends to get a little chewed up in that, so she might have just hit a loose spot. I know mine stumbled. I saw it plain as day, so track might be getting a little loose. I did nothing, no.
Link be ready for a slice, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you never know.
Might be going again.
I lost you, Curtis. I think. Maybe. No.
Really hot here. So aside from getting wet, the rain itself cooled everything off a little bit. Everything wasn't perfect. We had some breakers. We had one horse we scratched late. But for the most part, I thought it was great. I'll run through the sets real quick with everybody. Um, you guys got to see the Ontario sets also. So for those of you tuning in at home, I thought Mounds for All was great yesterday in Ontario. Time is on my side. Insider trading, the entire first set shown here in Ontario was great yesterday. They're all coming along nicely. Third set, ready for landing, was good. He trotted. For those of you, again, who are clients of ours or watch, we've had a lot of trouble with him making breaks, and I don't think we've seen his last break, but yesterday was not one of those days. He was very good. Everybody was great. I noticed everybody noticed that Punch the Clock made a break. Listen, Punch the Clock rarely runs and is one of our very, very best horses, and the least of my worries is her ever making a break training down. She's catching up, doing it nicely, and a lot of these horses too are coming off the virus this week, especially in Ontario. They took it a tiny bit harder than they did in Ohio, and all those horses went around 218 to 222 yesterday, and they were all kind of winded, which meant, for horses that have been in 13, 14, 15, to see them winded in 22 just goes to show they missed a week of work and they were a little bit under the weather, but all did their work as best they could. And then the third set that went out again, Drebin, I thought was great. Lonely Lakewood, Flashfly, those horses, everybody did their work well. I know Widespread Panic had made a break in there too, but Widespread Panic, it's going to take time. Again, for everybody that follows along and what we talk about and how we approach stuff, Widespread Panic is going to take till August. And I think you give us till August, maybe we'll be able to turn him into a nice little horse, but it's going to take a little longer with this guy. Now we turned our attention to here today. The first set, all the sets were pretty good, and we were rolling along pretty good. The last set, I know that Daryl had to move that colt 2 or 3 times because he was hitting the bike really hard. I could hear him. My filly was hitting the bike a little bit in the turns too. That last turn, Daryl Pickpocket went to scoot away with Royal Emeralds, and she just wanted to come with them and just touch the bike 2 or 3 times and rolled off stride. Did it again after the wire, same manner. I should have had the gate and pole on her, and that was my fault. But she had a bit of a rough week too, tied up earlier in the week. So for her to go out and do the work she did was pretty amazing, to be honest. That saddle, the 6th set, went a mile and 2.6, I'd say, and come pretty good last half. Also, I ended up going a mile and 2.8, and I was a little bit off of them. Prince Charmer broke his head pole strap before the start, so he went without a head pole. Pulling up, Chris said he was good, just got on the right line a little bit. Needed that head pole, and other than that, went a mile and 2:10, which is a good mile for him. And then Snap You made a break on Amy at the top of the stretch. She's done that before. I think we're gonna have to put a tighter martingale on her. She just gets a little excited. She's not really rude. She just gets a little wound up and wants to get at her work and loses her gait. And she's done this a couple of times on us, not often, but a couple of times I've seen her do it. That's something we can address with simple equipment. The 5th set, Gypsy Hill was good. Green Tea was really good. The problem I had with Green Tea was he had lunged a couple of times going on the track and actually broke his buxton underneath. That really wouldn't be a big deal, but with him it is, because attached to that buxton is that martingale that he most definitely needs. And you could see him throwing his head and acting up. even as we were going slow. And he too was touching that inside wheel of the race bike. These are all first-time race bikes for these horses and first-time 2 trips. So he still minded his manners, did his work, and finished off very, very strong. And Tilly's Hanover was good too, hitting the wheel again. It's nice to know that we need a little wider race bike for a couple of these horses. I do want to order a couple of wider trotting bikes anyway, because Carter Michael Dio in Ontario needs one. So Gypsy Hill finished up strong. Militant was better second time out. He said he was very good. Activation, I thought, there's a horse that just continues to impress me in a weird way, right? This is a horse that just continues to creep forward. We talk about Pickpocket, and I'll tell you all about Lover's Play and how much there's just a ton of horses I really like here. This guy just continues to ascend the ladder every week and look good. By the time we get to qualifiers in his first stake race, I don't know how good he'll be, but he's got a lot of pop to him this colt. Fourth set, I was really impressed with Sweeney, but more impressed even so, as much as I was impressed with him, Sedona Hill, I thought looked very good today. This is a filly that has been hot training down. It was very weird, very hot training down and never made a break. Went to train her on Wednesday here. She ran all over the track and was quiet. We came in and made some significant changes to her shoeing and her equipment. I trained her again, as Jason alluded to, Thursday morning, and she was much better. I didn't really know what to think today. And Amy pulled up. She goes, wow, this filly was very polite and did her work perfect. And I was so happy to hear that, because as many of you know, the Next Generation series starts July 1st, and we really don't know which filly was going to go. We had a pretty good idea which colt was going to go roughly, but we didn't know which filly. And to see her come out and do her work as well as she did today was very, very uplifting. So Sweeney was good. No Chance in Hill, I thought, trained awesome today. AC Swan did not know in 3rd and 6th. Were a little bit back, but still went a mile and 2.8 and did their work very, very well. Those are 3 horses that would be back from those front 3. We did our best to group the horses as to how fast they've been going and what we'd like to see them do, but the drivers that are going with them also played a big role. 3rd set, Really Don't Care was good. Pull the Shoes. You guys, again, for those who are familiar with the stable, you know how I feel about Pull the Shoes and Really Don't Care. I think Really Don't Care is one of our very, very best horses. I just had the jump on her today. That filly was strong, did her work very well, and she's just a powerful, powerful filly. If we can keep her out of her knees, if we can keep her out of herself behind at high speeds, I don't know how fast she can go, but the world's her oyster right now. She's a very, very nice filly. Both those fillies are great. Alibaba, those are the deep end of the ocean. She was swimming in the last turn, but still come on good. I know Lauren was a little upset. Militant made a break on her, and Purple People Eater made a break on her, but they're babies. They're going to do that. It's going with babies is not the same as going with racehorses, and she shouldn't be upset in any way, shape, or form. Purple People Eater will be just fine, and Militant was great, was perfectly fine after. Chris Lems told me Southwind Digit was good, Victory Blue Chip was good, and Levesque in Action lost a shoe in the warm-up. I put it on best I could, but she broke up her foot a little bit. She lost that very same shoe in the mile and still trotted and did her work well, so great set there. The pace, I was floored with Born to Dance. That's the first big breakout training mile of his career. He was exceptionally good. I knew when Arson came first over, it was not going to be his cup of tea. He's more of a leave, sit, sprint on the end of it type horse, but I just couldn't cover him up. Born to Dance he's been known to be a bit of a coward sometimes, but he can pace very, very hard, and he was exceptionally good this morning. Paycheck Princess finished up good. Venice Blue Chip was awesome, as she always is. And I'm Fancy Like was good as well. And then the first set of the day to kick it all off with Carol Blue Chip, great. Affection was very good. Chris Lem said, maybe a head check. He said, it just worried me a little bit. The faster she went, the more she kind of ducked her head in. He said, all of a sudden her ears were almost disappearing in front of me. He said, man, can she ever trot? Very good. Blanton's Blue was good. Irresistible Sun. Militant had made that break on Lauren, but had lost the shoe. We put it back on, and he was fine afterwards. Memory and Imagination. Logan Embersaw looked over at me after a while. He goes, what is this? I said, that my friend is a horse. We train them and race them. He said, no. He said, who's this horse by? I said, this is a very good horse. This is so for those of you maybe not know Memory and Imagination, this was I believe a $77,000 yearling at Harrisburg. And I liked him a lot because I had a lot of love for Brace for Landing. And this horse is actually out of a sister to Brace for Landing. So that family, and I use Brace for Landing, but Brace for Landing is not what to talk about in that family. It's just a horse that I talk about. Memory and Imagination is out of a sister to Brace for Landing, and he was exceptionally good. Daryl kept Electric Line. Said he got a little bumpy at times. He said he tried to stay at it. we're going to see over the next month which horses maybe need a little longer, a little more time. We talked about widespread panic in Ontario, and this may be our Ohio widespread panic right here is electric line. Lots to offer, lots of speed, but just isn't consistently good. And that will have to be addressed at some point. Maybe we just turn him out in the field, give him time to the middle or end of the summer, or we keep going with him. But you know what? Just one sec there. Top to bottom, just a fantastic day here in Ohio. And Daryl Thiessen, for many of you guys that don't know Daryl's a good guy. Got smashed up pretty good.
Yeah.
How bad did he get hurt that time?
Broke my hip, dislocated my hip, broke my femur, broke my collarbone, shoulder separation, broke my grad helmet in half.
So almost broke your head.
Yeah.
That's good. Daryl's making his way back to Ontario, and I was really happy. You know, Jason McGinnis and Jimmy did such a great job. Curtis, Jamie, everybody up top, and Jason helped out a lot. He was down to drive these horses, and he loves going with them. But we needed a commentator, and he's really, really good with the mic. And Daryl was we were lucky. I happened to run into Daryl and just say, hey, would you mind coming to Ohio? This guy drove all the way to Ohio from Ontario last night, stayed over, went with all the babies. Now is going to get in his car and drive back to Ontario to race at Flamborough tonight. So I really appreciate all your help. I really appreciate all your help, and good luck tonight at Flamborough.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anyway, a great day to be had here in Ohio. It could always be better, but you know what? It could always be worse. I thought the horses were tremendous. First time race bike, first time 2 trips, and looked very, very professional, as they're supposed to. So with that, I'll let you guys go. Thank you all for tuning in, and for our clients, as I said, best clients in the world. You guys, I appreciate everything you do for us here at thestable.ca. Take care.